gave to me so long ago. Sleepless nights I laid awake just begging to let go. I almost got to suicidal thoughts, but you stepped in. An angel sent from heaven showed me how to live again. Now I'm falling and I can't see the ground. Can we stop this gravity? It keeps bringing me down. I can't breathe and I don't wanna die. Can we stop this gravity? 'Cause I don't wanna say goodbye.
First pick. What are you thinking?
Wow.
Wow.
Immediately addressing the Death Prophet. I'm not too surprised just because if a hero's becoming ultra meta where teams are just starting to first to it almost every single series that I'm watching recently, you got to come prepared. And Ancient Apparition definitely counters Death Prophet in all facets of the game. Death Prophet relies on long drawn out fights with sustain, and AA says, no, we're going to burst you down. Wraith King, one of the best laning pairs with AA. You usually want a point-click stun, Sven, Wraith King, CK. Out of all the heroes that fit that description, Wraith King is by far the most meta right now.
Yeah, I just love how strong this lane is. You know, stunning to AA spells, but also I think from Unique's perspective, they're forcing the hand on Empire to go, if you want to obviously put this DP into a draft, you're going to have to most likely put it in that 5 role, because if it is a core, you are just going to be running into just instant death from the AA. It is a very hard matchup to play without, you know, the correct itemization.
Yeah, and Empire in the past, I mean, we talked about the fact they picked up, they like to grab this Death Prophet. They like Phoenix, which is another hero that can be disrupted by Ancient Apparition as well. Troll is another pickup. Like, there are a lot of heroes that AA is pretty good against. So if they have the laning partner to go with it already in mind, then I don't hate the Ancient Apparition. Still a little bit concerned. I feel like there's a lot of heroes that you have to ban in order to make this okay. I feel like Lycan might be one of them, but Empire's opener is also kind of sticky. Do they do 5-position Death Prophet?
I've had a little look and it doesn't really come instantly to mind, but I'm sure they, in the right situation, you could probably put it down there into that role if it was required.
Yeah, we have not seen Agnard played in the DPC League, but who knows what's been happening with these guys' scrims, right?
He was also the player that suddenly played Bat 5. When
they chose to do Bat 5 instead of Death Prophet 5 in the Navi series.
Yeah, they did.
So so in that case, it does make the Death Prophet Void Spirit like a potential double core opener, which is kind of weird.
Honestly, I'm not too skeptical about AA. I don't think the hero's as terrible as he may seem on paper. I think if you don't have a reason for the pick, then he's really awkward. But the fact that they are able to get a really solid Wraith King pick on 4 on top of it makes me very confident in this Team Unique's opening. I'm viewing them in pretty high regards. I think these players are quite capable of being far better than their record illustrates. And yesterday, they looked really good.
This lane, like, it's so scary to play. Like, I don't think like people really respect the amount of kind of poke that this Wraith King AA lane has, and you really need a 4 that can complement or at least kind of save it. Surprisingly, Shaker's a second phase ban for these teams.
I was going to say it could have worked well in Empire as if you wanted to run Death Prophet 3 against that Wraith King. Keep your distance with a strong 4 position that protects you.
Let's get a Nyx or a Tusk. Nice.
There it is.
That's perfect. Nyx AA. This is like 2018. This is a classic. It's funny how often heroes are naturally paired together across all patches, and they just fit so well. Nyx in the early game offers a stun, like in the laning stage, and then later on he scouts, and him plus AA is oftentimes enough to threaten, and sometimes just them alone can kill you, and usually there will be 1 core around, so it'll always result in a easy to execute pickoff.
Are we already at the point where we call 2018 things classic?
Yeah.
Oh,
in Dota,
dear.
yeah, like 2 months in Dota kind of world is just already
Good
ancient.
old times 2020. No?
Shadow Shaman.
Maybe. Don't know how to pivot on that one.
All right, Shadow Shaman coming out here for Empire.
Brian, you have talked a lot about being able to have like certain amount of wave clear and deep push in general is just like a really important concept for teams. Does that concern you at all? Like when you don't have a support pairing that neither one of them does it for you?
It is a concern, but I like this 4th Pith Prophet for that exact reason.
Yeah.
They have a lot of pushing power themselves in their 2 cores that they have that are not the supports.
And it helps that you can show a nature, because when your supports don't have any wave clear, it means you always have to show a core pretty much constantly on the map, which means you can be outnumbered when it comes to straight up team fights. But Nature's Prophet is a perfect example of a hero that is able to do wave clear but still join in on those fights, which I think makes him even better.
Yeah, I was going to say, as soon as they picked this Nyx Assassin, it felt like the Fury game was just getting even better, simply because you have this global pickoff potential, but you need that kind of extra pressure to the tower as well. So that when you get a pickoff, you can suddenly capitalize on where you took that kill and then turn it into some objective pressure. And that's where Fury really excels in these scenarios. Flip side, look at Empire. If DP is the 5, if Shaman's the 5, no matter what lane, the Fury will be able to easily play into these heroes, these intelligent supports. You just send the trees at them. You have like kind of that barrier. And yeah, you get to play a completely free game. A hero that also is pretty independent, allowing Nyx to maybe start a tri-lane at minute 4+ with the AA and the Wraith King if the lane's set up correctly. And yeah, I like what Unique has.
Yeah, it looks like Empire's taken some time to react to this Nature's Prophet. They already got some wave clear, of course, for themselves. Is there anything in particular that they're lacking against the lineup of Unique?
They need someone to stand in front of the tower and try and defend it, allowing for the DP and the Void Spirit to suddenly collapse into the fight and make it somewhat messy. Unique doesn't have clean team fight. They are very much pick off and just that's it. They pick off a hero and they try and punish that. And Empire, they go for a Naga Siren.
Yeah, I actually had that hero in mind because it's I've been playing a lot of 5 Naga, but I know either way, Naga Siren in lane functions really well against Nature's Prophet because he's all physical damage, and she's one of the higher armor and higher HP agility heroes in the game.
I'd love to see this in a carry role. Simply for this game, you always defend your tower against the Furion. You can easily TP to the fights that are needed and help disengage. But no, yeah, okay, Leshra Band, this is a core Naga for sure.
This is a really nice Naga pick.
Yeah.
Not only is it an amazing matchup against both the cores, but the best way to deal with Nyx AA, who are going to threaten anyone who shows on lanes at any point in the game. There's really no core that can show on a lane past 10 minutes and not die to Nyx AA +1. And Naga, perfect core that you have to search for her. You're never going to be able to just find the real one. And if they are able to set up defensive sentries in Naga's farming patterns, I think that they're going to have a tough time catching her. So now they've presented this threat for Team Unique's lineup, where not only is it going to stop their lane shove that we talked about being really nice, but but now it's also really difficult. It's not as straightforward of execution for their pickoffs.
The question for Empire is simply, what is happening with the DP and the Shaman? Is it just going to be DP5 propped up because you have such an independent carry that any hero can now play 5 in that lane? So it might not be a great lane for DP into a Furion, but the basics are still there. You can still pull, you can still play your game, have good move speed, etc. So maybe they're looking for an offlaner still.
They're taking their time here. They had a lot of bonus time left as well. They end up banning out the Pango. And now it's up to Empire to decide what they want for their last pick. So they kind of got to make their decision based on what they see on the board right now.
I wouldn't mind just like a Sand King or some just annoying off lane that provides some lane pressure with a Shaman, but then has some like innate tower defense. I think the other options are a little bit too tanky and get the AA kind of treatment will be a bit too annoying for him.
So you don't like Underlord as an example?
Yeah, like Underlord's somewhat fine, but I feel like it could easily be punished too early on. Like he needs level 4+.
It's an X.
Sure. They just go all out aggression.
Sure,
yeah.
You okay? I mean,
it's more like a sure. Like
you don't like it.
It's not like a sure.
Brian, what kind of sure are you about an Axe pickup? Because I'm not happy.
Yeah, I'm a bit skeptical. It's nice in lane, in theory, against the Wraith King, and you do have like we said, this pushing prowess of the death of the Naga will set up his ganks later on, and they kind of just needed a stun, like a guy that hard lockdown later on in the game that wasn't their Shadow Shaman, but I'm skeptical.
I wanted a team fight or a buyer. I thought Underlord kind of fitted that matchup, especially with the setup of the Naga Siren.
I think the key thing is Empire, they are not expecting to lose their lanes. They have very strong, stable lanes, and they want to have a little bit of aggression somewhere. So AA Shaman, Wraith King and AA are very strong. But if you pair that with an Axe Shaman, they can also find their own kills, and that allows them to have a way in which they force Unique to react on the map, opening up the game for Naga to defensively play the jungle. If you have a more static offlane, it doesn't really apply lane pressure. Therefore, Unique happily will leave that lane and start invading the jungle and making the map feel quite small. So I think it's more of a go defense with offense, and Unique, they actually go for the Sand King.
This is a nice Sand King pick. One of the best cores in the entire game to deal with the illusion heroes. Not only is it tough for these illusion heroes to kill the Sand King because of the sandstorm damage that's constantly destroying the illusions, but it's just Sand King's a hero that very rarely has a nice lane. There's a lot of carry matchups that give him a lot of issues, but heroes like Naga, they have to be point blank range to deal damage to you, and they usually don't do enough damage in the early game to threaten you during your sandstorm. So I actually will tilt it this favor of the draft back in for Team Unique here with that last pick.
I think the only kind of awkward part from Unique is the later portion of the game. Of course, Wraith King will never care about Axe too much, but every other hero, there isn't any saves built into their lineup. So the Axe cool, that big kind of blow up potential is there. Just do they have enough space on the map to get the Naga to have farm, to get the Axe to have farm, and then they feel confident. We saw how Unique played so dominantly yesterday with just flooding the map, and if they do that again, then the cores on Empire just won't have time to farm.
Yeah, the difference I see here is that the Axe Shadow Shaman lane like really has to abuse the Wraith King, which I think they can, but I think they have to win that lane pretty hard. Whereas Sand King, I feel like he's got a much more natural, less pressured game to succeed.
All right, then I want to hear one more thing from Brian. What does Empire need to do to have a good start here?
Yeah, if Naga gets off to gets out of the gates running, she will be a ridiculous threat to this Wraith King as the game goes on. Wraith King doesn't like dealing with Naga. He's low armor and can't, his skeletons just don't do anything in the mid game. So it's all about that top lane.
It's all about the top lane. Thank you very much, Brian. And we are ready to show you the game and then also, of course, see how that top lane's going. Let's head over to a commentary duo of Moxie and Purge.
Thank you so much, Shiver. Purge, we've got a game on our hands here, and it seems like there's a lot of pressure getting placed over on this Naga Siren to have a good lane, and also the fact that the Axe also has to pop off. What do you think about this?
Yeah, both of those heroes are a little bit less common to be playing their roles these days. Naga is definitely relegated a lot to support, and as is the sorry, who was the other hero?
We were talking about the Axe too. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's a lot of pressure on him to
normal in his lane, obviously, but to play him off lane, but he's less common as a
Right.
hero in that role, just because he's a little bit weaker than other typical offlaners. So that does make it a little bit like lane dependent on how well you perform. But Axe has a lot of good things going for him in this game. He's very effective at clearing creep waves, so he can offset a lot of the push that Nature's Prophet pushes out. He's good at ganking Nature's Prophet at times because he has a great BKB piercing disable, and he gets on top of people and usually can follow up. So there's really good things about Axe here, but generally Naga Siren tends, outside of like having overwhelming strong team fight and great lane push, she definitely feels underwhelming in terms of her like raw damage potential in like mid and late game scenarios. Like she obviously gets much more net worth than your opponents, but generally you want those like solo. I want a carry that is going to have BKB and Abyssal and just jump and kill somebody, and I don't have to worry about them. You can deal with illusions. You can like buy yourself time with like glimmer capes and stuff. Naga's punch is not quite as hard as other carries are usually in the mid and late game, so that can be one issue there. So with that said, that's why it helps to have really good early games for those in like mid. It can help make some of those lackings a little bit stronger. But I think maybe the most interesting thing going on is we got Pikachu playing Nature's Prophet. That means it's going to be a mid NP, and this is very weird for how most people are playing NP. It's either as the support to win lanes or as like a 3 position or maybe like a core in the safe lane as well. So it being mid means that like, yes, first of all, you can't harass your enemy mid as often because there's not as much space in the mid lane to run people down. But also when you do gank, you're going to be taking a super highly leveled hero and putting them in a different lane. So that could make for some really interesting kills in the early game. So we got to keep an eye on where Pikachu goes with his TPs.
Yeah, it seems like, it was very popular when the Orchid build was still very, very strong. So we were seeing a lot of those mid-Nature's Prophets. But this time, it's all about the pushing. It's all about getting the levels and about getting the gold so that way you can have giant trees eventually hitting up on the map. We were actually talking about that earlier, about how the treants, they give very little gold. Even the extra large ones, I think, what was it, like 18 to 24 gold a piece?
Yeah, it can be a little weak for sure, but I think what's crucial is that normally, well, we'll see if there's a little fight here for bounties. Not gonna be much. Normally what happens when you gank with Prophet, you're adding damage mostly to this gank. But most mid heroes, like Void Spirit's the perfect example. When he ganks side lanes, he has disable, he has gap close, he has nuke, he can protect himself. Prophet's a little bit more finicky, and that's part of the reason that he's not as effective as a mid hero. Yeah, once you get Orchid, obviously it's very impactful to show up, but like until he gets Orchid 15 minutes in, or whatever other item he chooses to go for, his gank is going to be a little bit weirder. So we'll see if Pikachu can make something good happen with it. So I'm curious to see how it works out.
So my other question too was the fact that, you do have this Nature's Prophet sitting mid, and he, it's all about, pushing out these waves, getting towers early. Are we going to see him rotate, or do you think we're going to see the Nyx Assassin make his way over early and try to slow down Gwynblythe here?
Yeah, they definitely could do pressure on the Void Spirit, but that's what's the nice thing about Prophet, that it's really easy for him to gank sidelines as long as he's got a TP ready, because all he's doing is spending one skill point to teleport somebody somewhere, then after surviving or getting a kill, he can teleport back to the mid lane. So he'll be able to pressure constantly, but also show up for potential ganks. And I think the heroes that are maybe likely to get ganked is probably Shadow Shaman, the 4-position hero if he gets gone on, or Naga Siren, or the Death Prophet. Those are the heroes he's going to be looking to pressure, but maybe he'll do fine in the mid lane. Right now, Void Spirit's doing excellent, great last hitting so far.
I feel like a lot of it, we talked about having the Naga kind of struggle, but at the same time, you need to be very aware of this Axe because he is going to be making the tempo along with the Void Spirit. So, I mean, who's your bigger target? Is it better to slow down the one that's going to come online fastest, or?
I mean, you can try to shut down an Axe in lane, but you have to be a little bit careful how it works out. Obviously, if you're playing very well on Axe, he's like one of those heroes that's like kind of dangerous, right? Like if you don't succeed on your gank, he usually like heavily punishes you immediately afterwards. So as long as his lane is going okay, it's not that bad. So I guess I'd just be more concerned about Void Spirit, because until Axe gets Blink Dagger, unless he like is really stomping his lane, I'm not as worried about him.
Okay. Definitely a fair point, as Bignum gets the kill on Eknar's Courier. Is going to miss the Naga's Courier, though. They might be able to put a little bit of damage here. We've got plenty of stuns in this lane between the Nyx Assassin and the Sand King here, and that's a lot of damage, actually. Spirit Siphon, though, is a great skill. We'll be able to keep Eknar alive here. Do you have another stun coming up, though? Oh.
played that really well, actually. It might have looked like they were only half-assing it, but like that was the first Spirit Siphon for Death Prophet. She used it, they disengage right away so that she doesn't get full heal, and now she just has to go back to base. How often do you see a 5 position do this right now in a game?
You don't want to see them do that.
You do not. Smiley Knight is going to zone the Sand King a little bit here because he's gone Caustic and Burrow Strike, so he can't just hide under the Sandstorm. That's a little unfortunate, actually. That Caustic Finale didn't seem to proc on the Nago Illusions. Did not know about that interaction. That's going to make this lane a little bit harder for Ghostic here. But once he gets a little bit more stability, I think they'll have a nice advantage in this lane.
Bottom lane, this is not looking super great here for the Shadow Shaman. Is going to get frozen into place. They'll put off a couple hits here. But
They're thinking about going.
I think they're just going to let him go back and just hit the creeps.
Yeah, they could have gotten close to killing him, but he had a Fairy Fire and a 7-stick, so their chances of getting that kill without taking massive damage was low. So they're just going to play it semi-safe. Bracer on Wraith King to start is really straightforward. He'll get boots afterwards on Wraith King just so he doesn't have to be as careful here. But Shaman's got to be careful. He's certainly the guy that's going to be pressured in this lane.
And it's such a good combination, right? The Cold Feet with the any sort of stun always makes it very, very scary when you're a squishy support to go forward. And you do need to be harassing the entire time, but it's a bit difficult when you have this combo.
Yeah, it's a really good. It really makes A much better. And he's even maxing out Cold Feet here.
They're going to go in for the kill
damage.
here. Pacharo standing nearby. Fairy Fire gets used. They just need one more hit, and the Skelly Boy's coming in. That's going to be a dead Shaman. It looks like it's going to be a dead Slayer, though, too. He doesn't have any more regen, doesn't have a stick or anything, so Pacharo will get his revenge.
Nicely done. And now Ring of Health on Axe basically solidifies his laning stage for, it's not going to be bad at all because he's going to be able to sustain this. And he's got a Salve and he's got a Fairy Fire. So I don't really see them pressuring Axe here. This got to genuinely limit Wraith King's ability to lane stabilize, because normally when you play Wraith King, you just kind of pop in, give him a slap, back out, your life stealing, everything's good. But Axe does so much damage with spin that if you can't like out harass him from range, you're going to have a bad time. But because he's got all this regen already, good luck putting him in a threatening position where Wraith King's going to have an easier time. Like, this looks a little bit rough for Wraith King to really affect his overall net worth.
Well, mid lane seems to be going a bit better here for the side Nature's Prophet because he's also able to jungle to the side. So he's sitting at 33 and 8. We have teleport coming out. Ghostic, though, should be able to go snap up the 5-minute rune here, possibly. They drop a sentry, and he'll still be able to grab it. So Unique grabbing 3 of these. The net's going to come out, though, from Smiling Knight. Ghostic has to be careful. Does have the Burrow Strike to run away. Spignum comes back in. Wrath of Nature getting tossed out. They would love to get this kill on Smiling Knight, but they'll cancel out the teleport. Spignum's just going to poke a little bit.
That's a rough one. Ghostic actually did not bottle that. So he had a bottle, that's why he committed so hard for that. Really rough that it got stolen under his nose, but... Wait, Bignum grabbed it? Okay, so they both fought for it and Ghostic didn't get it. Is that what happened? Oh, that's not good. Unless he got the other one. I don't know. I'm confused why Ghostic didn't get the refills bottle. I didn't see who grabbed the other rune. It's been a mistake, though, because now Ghostic's got to sit back in the lane a little bit here, bringing himself a salve. They're not doing so great in this dual off lane. 14 last hits for Ghostic only. He just got zoned pretty heavily by the Nago Illusions just because he didn't get Sandstorm until level 3. Maybe they thought that they were going to be better at pressuring this lane, but hard for them to kill the Illusions. And now Smiling Knight's just like free farming in his lane. Rough.
Oh, it feels pretty good if you're an Empire fan. But yeah, you know, the whole idea is that you have to kind of shut them down. We do have a rotation to the bottom lane, though. Looks like they're going to try to put some pressure on Petashara. Open up. The Hex comes out here for Taylor. Gonna get the call off. Getting a couple of these nice spins plus the shackles. Glimblithe joining on in. Has his eyes over here on Palantimos. Down he will go. On the back lines, Bignum also will fall. Slayer was trying to get that final hit off onto Petashara, but he doesn't have enough damage. The Remnant pulling him right back in again, and down goes the Ancient Apparition. Not
Great
enough damage for Petashara. Very close here, coming out from Pikachu.
This is the hard thing. He's got a Vanguard, so 50% of the time when you attack him, your attack does 0 damage. Good luck killing him. It's really difficult. His raw HP is massive. He's bought a Raindrop now. He doesn't have boots yet, but he just doesn't care. That's one of those circumstances. You do these rotations and Axe gets kills, and now you put yourself in an even worse position. So rough at this point here for Unique. And so far, the Prophet mid, yeah, he's got levels. He's done an ulti or 2, but we haven't seen him get a part of a gank yet. So right now, with the fact that Sand King's also behind in his laning stage, the strat is not working out the way Unique wanted to.
When do you have to start getting really worried as Unique, right? Because like a lot of this comes down to them having the early aggression, kind of, you know, getting that snowbally pressure.
It doesn't necessarily have to. Like, they still have really good heroes, and obviously AA6 is a big game changer because then it's going to be more straightforward for them to get kills. And one thing I really liked about the Sand King pick is that it gives them another way to initiate. It doesn't have to be Nyx Assassin always jumping into start fights. Here's a gank top finally coming.
Yeah, looks like they might be able to go and take down Eknart. He's got the Fairy Fire, though. One more hit. Can the trees get it? They need just one more. Down he goes. Pikachu, with his first rotation, will be able to get a kill, and they'll be able to put some pressure on the tower.
This is great, because normally the carry's going to go in jungle. By the way, in August Iron bought a Midas.
Yes, I noticed.
The kill
earlier.
on so Midas pickup is going to accelerate his farm a lot, keep his levels really high, and then when the support comes in D, it's really easy to dive in the case of Nature's Prophet. So that's great. Getting Prophet into the action is going to be a huge thing. Once he finishes Orchid, that's their next timing, and then getting A in the game with his 6 to pick off some really big core heroes. That's absolutely what they need to do to help stabilize this slightly weaker laning stage.
All right, well. The Battle Hunger tossed out here on Slayer. Palantimos does spot out this Shaman, and they'll have the instant teleport here coming out from the Nature's Prophet. Down will go Sayer. They'll get a call off. They'll drag away over here a little bit. Gwimblythe joining on back in again, getting the taunt off over onto Pikachu, but he does have that double damage. The tree's going to come out. And again, this is a very tanky Axe. Doesn't have those boots quite in his inventory right now, but it looks like he's just fine.
That's great pressure. The reason that stun on Axe is so important because he was about to call Prophet, and that would have limited them getting the kill on the Shadow Shaman. So his rotation succeeds. What does he do? He goes right back to hitting creeps. So things are healing a bit here for Unique, and now Nature's Prophet, highest net worth by a decent margin, 600 gold on top of what Void Spirit has done. Void Spirit has had a good game, 3-0-1. So showing the value of a Prophet farming to the max.
I'm getting closer and closer to that Orchid timing here on the side of Unique, so it'll be a bit scary for some of these heroes.
It is really scary. This is like going to be a stupidly fast Orchid. He's only like 1,000, or he's not that far away. He's like 600 gold away from this thing. And if you look over at Void Spirit, he's queuing up the Yules, which he needs to stay alive, but he's got a ways to go. He's got like 1,500 gold. So getting the Orchid this fast, we're going to definitely see a record break here, or at least get close to it.
I mean, at least with the Yules, right, on a Void Spirit, that's pretty standard in their kit. It's not like he's having to go like for a super defensive item necessarily, because it's just nice to set up. It gives you that little extra, amount of regen and speed. So I mean,
and it's great in normal, but I'm just saying it's slower than normal than we would normally expect out of a Prophet, because the Prophet's Orchid is so fast.
Right.
His timing now feels slow.
Right.
So it could make a big difference here.
So it's that the Prophet is doing so well, not necessarily that the Void is falling behind. But
exactly. Yep.
Ghost Stick.
They will defend that safe lane in the end. Ghost Stick's going to TP for this. I was a little unsure about this. They had Axe. Obviously, Axe is very scary to deal with. But if Sand King just plants his butt here, does the Sandstorm, he should be covered. I don't see any detection on Shaman either, so his ability, this is one way to take the tower.
Doesn't care about detection, Purge. He's got Serpent Wars. Maybe they can get the denial off. Nope. He's gonna go down for the side of Empire here.
That was really well done, because if they don't commit to that otherwise, like that tower would have stayed alive for a really long time. Now Empire gets to open up the whole jungle. This gives Axe a huge amount of space to finish his Blink Dagger. He's pretty close. He's about 1,000 away. Ghost Stick gonna get spotted.
He burrow strikes away, but he does end up right in that little square. No detection, though, over here on Gwimblythe, so he's fine. He's just going to spend a little time over. And they'll put some pressure on the top tower because they've got Skelly Boys, they've got, I don't know what you would call those treants. What are those even?
They're kind of like fly traps with spines.
Those
yeah, they're
are
fly trap-like.
trees. Those are plants.
Well, yeah.
Immersion.
There's mushrooms. There's a lot of plant-related things. It's fine. Oh, gross. What is Radiance? Oh, he just bought gloves first to accelerate his farm a bit. Now he's gonna go Radiance.
Orchid is complete now, Purge, and we've got Bignum on the hunt. I have a feeling we're going to be seeing a gank sometime fairly soon, especially if this Death Prophet walks up over here to the high ground again.
Yeah, we'll see who he can find. The downside is that level 1 Vendetta does not last a huge amount of time, so if you miss these opportunities, then it's going to feel a little rough here. But they're wisely playing in this part of the map. This is the right thing to do. Ghost Stick is going to try to defend the mid lane and their safe lane technically, while Unique just looks for opportunities. But if Empire does a good job and just doesn't get Orchid pick off here for a bit, then everything's going to be pretty fine. And I think that's part of the reason Empire's sitting near each other so much. They're waiting until Void gets his Yules, so that he'll be protected, and then we'll try to sit around anybody else that ends up being vulnerable. The only person that's really farming aggressively is Axe. He takes the dangerous place. Nago is going to deal with the tri-camp stuff while she's farming defensively and hard to pressure. So generally, like, the Orchid's really quick, but Empire's still out farming their opponents.
It is nice to see this map movements, knowing that the Orchid's going to be online, that they play so tightly together other than the Axe, who does just finish the Blink Dagger too, so I wouldn't be surprised to see some movements coming out for that as well. But they have split up now that we say, like, oh, good job, you're all grouped together. They have split up quite a bit though now. Naga hiding over on the side here. They ping it out.
It's just really hard to get over to that area of the map. And if you don't chain stun her, she songs and their whole team responds and you die and lose heroes. So it's very dangerous for them to engage like that. And they don't have a fighting item on Wraith King yet. He didn't go Armlet first, so his ability to contribute to fights is a little bit weaker than normal. But I don't blame him for going Radiance, but there's just like a little bit of a weak timing here for Unique if they haven't found these like Impale ganks with Orchid. So they're definitely not feeling like they're pressuring hard enough. Not quite. I think they just finished Blink on Sand King at least.
They did.
So that's one upside, but they got to be careful here. And they want to get kills, but it's hard.
Nope, that's not his courier. There it is. There's the little Phoenix courier delivering the special goods now to Ghostic, so he's got that blink. But they're hunting here on the side of Empire. They know Palantimos has been up here. In fact, there it is. Patchar blinking forth. They even use the Serpent Wards. So they'll go get the Shackle off, hoping for some nice spins. But the follow-up here from Ghostic right onto the back lines. Lands on 3 of them. They'll go down to the Reincarnation. Big ol' Ice Blast coming in hot. It lands over on at least 2 of them as Patchar running for his life. Ghostic does go down. Can they finish them off, though? Yes, Death Prophet will go down. Sayur will shatter, and Patchar is just running for his life. So a very nice turnaround coming out from the side of Unique. They ended up losing the Wraith King Reincarnate, and they end up losing the Sand King, but they managed to get a couple of the heroes over here on the side of Empire.
Yeah, it looked pretty rough for them before that Ice Blast came out. The looked like they were going to have more than enough damage to clean up the Wraith King, but with Prophet coming in, he initiates, he silences the Shadow Shaman to stop that out, and this whole time, lots and lots of Sandstorm damage. So even though Sand King ended up dying in this circumstance, the right click was enough to deal with the Axe, and the Nyx was able to clean up the other 2 heroes. Oh, Axe actually lived there, my bad.
Yeah, I thought he might have gotten Ice Blasted, but it looks like he was right on the edge there. Otherwise, I think he probably would have died during that. And they're smoked up again on the side of Empire. So I like this. I like the fact that they know they have to be making space for this Naga. You've got a big ol' Axe. You don't have the wards anymore. But they also have Gwynblythe coming. So this is going to be attempt number 2. And the step right in. They've got the Shackles. This should be a dead Palantimos.
Yep.
Nicely
They knew that was going to work.
Ooh.
On the opposite.
Oh, that's Smiling Knight taken down.
That one looks pretty hard, actually. They just moved in this area and they did not have vision, actually. So that's where things get really hairy, because you're not 100% sure whether it's the real Naga or not, but they're able to commit everything in combination with the Orchid, it looks like, and score the kill on the Naga Siren. So I would say that's pretty worth it. I'm more worried about Naga right now than I am the Wraith King. Wraith King didn't have ulti there either. So, like, yeah, he dies, which isn't great, but I'm way more worried about Naga going crazy at this point in the game.
It feels like they don't have as good of solutions for Naga, right? You do have, you know, the Sand King was a nice pickup. You do have the Ice Blast, but...
Dire's courier has been killed.
Oh, that's a courier slain here. Nice pick off here from Pikachu. They have a nice deep ward. Keeping tabs on
There was another one there, too.
Uh-oh.
Get it?
Uh-oh. Down goes Ghost Stick. I'm not quite sure what he's doing there. It's a little bit too far forward. But they'll use the Serpent Wards on the tower. I'll wait in position. They've already used the Ice Blast.
Yeah, he's trying to just defend the tower, but yeah, definitely a little far forward. Usually you want to play in the trees with your Sandstorm. That way, even if they have the detection, they don't necessarily see you, but they ended up chain stunning him. Easy death, and now
they're hoping to get the
towers.
jump on Pikachu. Pikachu, do you know what lurks in the woods? Because they're moving up there real fast. You also have Bignum. He's doing a little bit of scouting. Let's see Gwynblythe is here. Patchar getting in position. Still don't see him just yet. Still have Bignum. Look at Bignum. Look at this. If he finds him...
He might spot it. Here it comes. They're going to see him.
Ice Blast coming in hot over onto Patchar. They spot him out. They need to go, and oh, the silence, but the draw in. It was a trap here from Gwynblythe, but they just can't seem to get enough damage out as down goes Patchar. Gwynblythe trying to find this opening. Exorcism is going to get used. The silence is used over onto the Nyx assassin. He's just going to have to scoot away, but it looks like his teammates are going to be able to leave without getting killed here.
Little lucky that the Ice Blast ends up spotting the Axe there, but they had the heroes in position. Both teams, that could have gone both ways, frankly, based on their initiation. And they got a Death Prophet ulti out of it. I think that's good circumstance for Unique here.
I mean, yeah, that's the Exorcism not being able to take down buildings. That buys them some more time because the rest of the team I guess aside from the Serpent Wards, right? Not super great at pushing just yet.
That's definitely true. They're good at pushing waves. The Naga Siren very effective there. Kind of an interesting build on her, actually. The Midas and Demanta, not too weird, but going immediately into a heart. She identifies what's going to happen this game. If she just gets tanky,
that's a
very dead hero.
Yep. Bye-bye.
If she just gets really tanky, then she's going to be able to ensure that it's way harder for her to die in team fights, and her split push is going to be more obnoxious. It'll give them more space on the map. Kind of cool.
We get the BKB picked up now for the Nature's Prophet. Aether Lens picked up for Shadow Shaman. I feel like this BKB is a really big deal. Like, he's just getting his items so quickly.
He is, yeah. It's definitely very good. Not having to worry about Shaman, not have to worry about things like Ensnare or Death Prophet Silence. There's certainly a lot of Void Spirit, especially. He's definitely a guy that Void Spirit would love to kill, but having BKB is going to solve this. They might start having major issues with these Naga illusions, though. Already tons of armor on them, obviously, but on top of that, with the heart, they're just going to have an insane amount of HP. So, good luck killing those. Might be hard.
We'll
they're
go
going top.
Stick. Getting ready, goes for it, has the epicenter, Ice Blast coming in hot. Pikachu gonna join in as well, but that is a kill going to Slayer.
Dire's top tower is
It's so important that sometimes you show kills like this, where you're like, we can kill your tankiest guy on the map, because now they can't just comfortably sit top and say could be completely fine. And they really didn't contribute much to that. That was basically just epicenter.
They identify the fact that Palantimos is alone for the most part, but the follow-up is here. Another 3-man burrow over Songs coming out, but Pikachu says, I don't care about this. He'll find a kill over onto the Shaman. Put out some more damage over onto Eckhart. Not quite enough to get the kill, but they'll turn this into a tower push. Song is down. Ice Blast is coming in. Can they land it on Gwyn Blythe? Oh, he dodges. He's gonna be just fine.
You can see the blast coming on your minimap, especially with True Sight. That you can see it, so I'm not surprised he dodged that one.
Yeah, but it's more exciting to make it sound
really
like
exciting,
he might...
like you just hyped it. You know?
Purge, please.
Sorry,
My
it's not on the map. It's not that hard.
This is coming from the guy who never looks at his minimap.
I don't, but I'm saying, like, for players that have the presence of mind to be like, I might get Sunstrike, they can definitely like run down vision
Right.
with True Sight behind him and get ready for that Ice Blast. So. Good for him, though. All right, they're smoking to take a fight here.
They are hoping that they can get a pick off. So check the Roche pit first. Big Num's positioning so good here. He is going to be the one who gets taunted up, but he is your position 4, so he'll tank the gank. They'll grab themselves up some of these bounty ruins, but that also lets them know exactly where all 5 heroes were on the side of Empire during that.
under attack.
Yep, still pushing the side lanes here. Wraith King's net worth is not looking amazing. He's getting pretty significantly behind the Naga Siren, but I mean, against the Naga, who basically has a completely free lane and Rush Midas and has been AFK farming the whole game, I am not too surprised. But again, Wraith King's impact in a team fight is generally going to be a little stronger in these like mid and late game scenarios where he jumps in and blasts somebody down with multiple stuns and a lot of physical damage. Maybe Naga can do the same thing, but based on her itemization. Oh, they're going top.
Oh, the jump over onto Gwyn Blythe. Let's the Ice Blast. Already used that epicenter, and he's taking a lot of damage. Pikachu, he's on the hunt. Tries to go grab. Not going to be able to. Needs to be careful now. Eknart using the Exorcism, but where's the catch? They need some way to hold him into place, and they don't really have it, although Gwyn Blythe is turning right back around again. He's smoked up. BKB coming out from Pikachu, though. I think you're pretty happy about that if you're Empire. The blink away here from the Sand King. Everybody is just leaving the area.
Yeah, that's a lot safer there. He could have maybe TP'd right away, but there was a chance that Void Spirit catches up and yules him, so he just made the safe play, walked away, relied on Sprout, and gets out no problem. But yeah, a little bit of downside. Little Observer D ward by Slayer, that's a good one, knowing that if their opponents were walking high ground at the smoke, they're likely to place a ward there when they went for that kill. They got a pretty deep Observer behind the tier 2. That one could be significant later on when the Roche fight ends up happening. But for now, both teams pretty just content to hit creeps. Net worth is looking very even right now, so I think both teams have a great shot of winning at the moment. Naga queuing up a Butterfly next. That evasion is going to be hugely problematic for Unique, especially because they're already struggling to get kills on these Naga illusions. One upside at least, A's gotten hit. It's 20 minutes in. A's got his shard, so he's going to be the guy to deal with these creep waves now. And AoE magic damage over time that also lowers magic resistance will be an okay solution to helping to deal with the Naga Siren. But they definitely have. This is like the big scary thing in my opinion. Can they clear these Naga illusions decently? They don't quite have the items for it just yet.
About what timing do we want to see some of these items coming out so that way they can deal with this? Because obviously they're on a clock, right? Because, you know, yes, they have a Wraith King, but like Naga's just one of those heroes that it's difficult to deal with. She's going to get so tanky and she's going to be able to just push out multiple lanes.
I think it helps that Unique has enough burst damage that they can get kills across the map, because even if you can't necessarily deal with the illusions, if you keep like killing other heroes on the game, you're still like going at least even in net worth and keeping themselves together, which is basically what Unique has done the last like 10 minutes, right? We've seen a lot of like Sand King burrow strikes into epicenters with Ice Blast. We've seen like different variations of these kills. If they keep killing these other heroes, it's not that big of a deal that Naga's constantly pushing in lanes on the map. If the game is like, if they're not getting those kills and the lanes are being pressured in, then it feels like you're completely restricted from playing Dota at all. So if they keep getting kills, eventually their net worth will be high enough that it doesn't matter that Naga is like the one super farmed hero, because they will have eventually items that can deal with it. So I think what's crucial is they deal with it okay right now, and they also keep getting pickoffs. So if Empire can limit those pickoffs, their game is going to look a lot sicker.
And I think the other thing that's really, like, I really like watching Unique play the map is that they are moving as like groups of 2 or groups of 3. And even, you know, when the Wraith King is going down, like they have just a really nice capability. If they still have, you know, for example, Ice Blast up, they're trying to Delta split, right? Because they know there's coming back up again, but they're just held in place for so long that it just looks so nice. Just, I love the way that they're able to have this global presence, I guess, is what I'm trying to go towards.
Yeah, it definitely makes a big difference. The Prophet's performance so far, 4-0-3, Pikachu's doing great. Obviously, I would have liked them to have a few more kills in the first like 15 minutes, but that was basically from smart Empire play. It's not because Unique didn't do the right things. So gotta play things safe and anticipate that pressure, and don't let your opponents get super far ahead. And the fact that Prophet's been able to be close to Naga Siren in terms of far potential is very impressive too. So
that's something I really enjoy too. Like a lot of times, you know, you'll see these games where they'll be kind of stompy and they're making a lot of mistakes. In this case, it hasn't so much been that they've made a lot of mistakes, rather that the other team is just playing so well. And I feel like it's so much more interesting to watch. But they do know that they're in their jungle. They walk right over a couple wards here. So I'll be interested to see if they try to force them out or if they just try to mirror.
I think Empire is definitely a little bit concerned about taking a straight up team fight. They can't run into Wraith King very easily because he's got his ulti response. Sand King is a really scary counter initiation threat, because whenever you go and kill somebody, you naturally group up, right? And then if at that moment, especially because you have like a good 10-second window after they initiate on Wraith King, no matter what, he's going to be able to get there in time, and he's probably going to show up with an epicenter and catch a lot of heroes. And something we saw in that mid fight, actually, after he goes in, he pops Sandstorm. It does not matter if he gets stung. He's asleep, and his Sandstorm is still taking, dealing damage. So as long as they get like Ice Blast off after in that counter initiation, the fight is looking pretty good for Unique no matter what. So look for these pickoffs, keep your lanes pushed out as much as you can, try to slow the game down a bit while you get your good Naga solutions. Pikachu might get gone on here, though. Got to be really careful.
No, Petashara, he goes on the back lines because they found the Nyx Assassin instead, thanks to a nicely placed sentry ward.
Okay.
They'll find
A little
the kill.
dangerous to do that.
They'll use those surf
He was
boards.
invisible. So now they lose the tier 2.
Oh, Aknar, a little bit off the mark here, Ghostic, but they've got the nice Vortex. They'll follow up with the Ice Blast. They'll land over here onto this Death Prophet, but the immediate counter initiation coming in hot here as Axe gets himself a nice dunk and takes out Ghostic.
A little unfortunate for them there. They did not have vision of Eknart there where that TP was being started. So as a result, he knew that he was being threatened, and it gave him some like knowledge that allowed him to juke the Burrow Strike. But missing that kill, they missed the Burrow Strike, they missed the Ice Blast. Pretty big mistake, because that's a 5-position hero. Like, you should have been able to kill him, and losing Sand King in response is going to hurt. So now they just get all this map control as a result.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Oh god.
Look at the placement.
He
Imagine
can't
just
see that.
walking
I guess
into that.
I guess he had vision because the shrine was
shrine,
there.
yeah.
But still
If he
pretty
didn't,
strong.
that's a beautiful trap laid out for sure.
Butterfly almost ready for Naga. Only like 1,200 gold to go. So now things get really hard. Magic damage is how they're going to have to kill these illusions. Having AA definitely helps. Amplifying the magic damage you deal when magic is already going to be as counter helps there.
Well, they know there's a ward there now. Naga Illusions getting sent over to the side. Eknart gets spotted out by Big Num. They'll find the opening, though, over here, so they'll be able to finally take down this position 5, it feels like. Yep, Ice Blast is going to come in. as well, landing over onto Windblythe. Palantino's getting into position here. Not going to be able to quite get the hit. They throw out those trees maybe a little bit too awkwardly. That's the team. The Hex comes out over onto Sand King. Oh, the song and the call, but things are just a little bit out of place. This Ghostic turns back around, has the Burrow Strike. The go, they'll use the dust, they're chasing him down. Palantimos is going to get held into place, but he's still going to be able to get the kill on Petshara. Serpent Wards are going to get dropped. Ghostic needs to be careful, needs to get out of the vision here. Eknart should be able to go and chip him down. Pick him also to fall, but that's a big crit over onto the Shaman. As now Pikachu is going to have to teleport out because they don't have anything to cancel. Oh, he's not going to be able to. It's too much damage from Empire. Man,
well,
that fight.
They threw their own fight, but they still ended up winning in the end. Like, everything looked really bad for Unique, and I saw the song come out, and I was like, wait a second, that's not good. Axe missed a giant call on 3 heroes, and they had Sand King disabled on the high ground. It looked perfect for them, but either way, the fight was still won. A lot of spells were used to kill the Death Prophet. He utilized backpack. Buyback very well there, shows back up to the fight, and definitely helps Impact by securing that Sand King kill among some other stuff here. Slayer, we'll see if he gets out. They're hunting for him. I don't know if you realize. We'll see if he puts a Vortex on the creep whip. That'd reveal that he's here, obviously. But yeah, he's not.
He knows that he's being chased.
Doing the safe thing. He's definitely going to stay, though. He'll probably, especially if they find, they have to find DP, they're going to go for it.
Hi, Eknart. What you doing? Cold feet into the hit. The stun. And they're just
Doesn't have Ice Blast just yet. Okay.
They're going to let Ghosty grab it. But is going to get immediately followed up here with the Axe, and they'll be able to get the kill on Ghostic. So perhaps a little too chill about that, but the Shaman goes down on the back lines. A lot of little scraps coming out here. Palantimos gets rooted up into place. Gotta fight these Naga illusions, and they're tanky. We talked about this. Chase is on, going up into the high ground here. Pikachu and Bignum looking, but Windblythe throwing out the Aether Remnant, dragging back on Palantimos. These illusions are just so hard to take down with what they have right now.
All right, they finally clean him up a little bit. But yeah, really hard for him to engage the Naga right now. His armor is not massive. He's got Armlet, which helps a lot, but yeah, their raw damage is huge, and they've got Butterfly, so he's missing a lot. Definitely not. I don't think he's going to want to buy MKB. We're probably going to see the same thing we see in Wraith Kings lately when they needed evasion or solutions. They just buy Rapier eventually. So for now, Palantimos is just going to be aiming for the supports or for any cores that are disabled.
I feel like Rapier has just become so much more and more common. Remember back in the day when you pulled out a Rapier, like, oh my gosh, it's go time. Like, you're so excited. Now it's like, he's just going to get a Rapier as part of the build now when you're going up against Illusion Heroes. It's like, ah, man.
His defense, it's a Wraith thing. You've got a built-in Aegis, so it makes a lot of sense.
True, but it's just not as exciting anymore, Purge.
I mean, people still buy the Rapiers sometimes. I saw some good ones in NA at times.
Oh yeah, oh my gosh, the game last night too with the 2 Giants rings, and it was like a 67-minute game. It was like ridiculous.
That's fun.
That was fun.
I think Axe has been doing really good this game so far. He's always consistently punishing Ghostic. They've got Yule Scepters, which they need to solve some of these issues, but if Axe calls you, there's always disable follow-up. The Void Spirit's always after he gets a catch, and that's making things easier. Ceremonial Robe is really good this game for Team Unique. Lower magic resistance by an extra 10%. Like, it's going to make it a lot easier to deal with these illusions.
Grouped up, they'll go for a smoke play. All 5 on the side of Empire. Creep forward, head towards the castle area. Shaman throwing up a ward up top. They've got vision here. They try to go for Bignum and they miss. They're a little off the mark. Ice Blast does get tossed out. Over on the side, they'll end up losing Petashara. Smiling Knight, she's singing. She's trying to get out of here. The ghosts are going off though on the back line. She's left the rest of her team behind. Looks like Bignum will coming out from the Shaman. Wraith King just trying to do as much damage as he can. He does not have enough though, especially with that Ghost Scepter. So he's gonna go down. Pikachu goes down. Ghost Stick also. And now it's just Wraith King against the world. Petashar goes in for the dunk. Down goes the King. And into the Roche Pit goes Empire.
It looked kind of good for Unique there. They dodged the initial engagement. They got to Yules the Nyx to buy him some time, but the overall raw damage is just way too between Exorcism, between all the Naga illusions. It's just way too much damage. Just can't clear these illusions. They can't kill the Naga fast enough. There's just so many problems that they're encountering here. Like, yeah, they can blow up like one guy, but it's also that Unique is never the one initiating in these big fights. It's pretty consistently Empire, who's going to be the start again. Gets lucky and dodges the call. He gets a Yule's off to buy him some time. The Ice Blast comes in and actually hits nobody except for Axe. That was probably one of the crucial mistakes here. Axe buys back as well. Naga's able to get out due to the Spider. Clan is just being destroyed by the DD on Void Spirit, by the wards, by the Exorcism. Just way too much damage. They have to get like 1 or 2 crucial kills at the start of these fights on the Unique side. Otherwise, the fight's going to feel way too difficult.
Should they have been more of the aggressors on the side of Unique? You know, you talked about the fact that they all ran together as 5 and got this really nice fight, but, well, that's a dead Gwynblythe at least, so, you know, they'll take that. There's an axe completed on Naga now, too. Yules comes out over here onto Pikachu. The draw in. Petchar waiting over on the side. Is silenced up, taunted. He's got the Mjolnir laced down. Goes to the BKB. He's taunted in, though. The Shaman maybe a little bit too far forward here, but look at Slayer. He's like, I can't help you. I'm sorry. We'll draw right back in over here onto Big Num. There's going to be a net. Follow up. He still has the Yules. Buys a little bit more time, but not nearly enough. Although it's a nice impale. It's a good try. He eventually goes down. Ice Blast does land on the Shaman. Not quite enough damage, though, I don't think, to do anything significant.
Game is real hard now. They do not have good illusion solutions. And he's got +1 illusion. He's got the Manta. He's got the Ags. Ags now, he can net through BKB even when he's songed.
This is not looking super great here for the Wraith King, although it looks like they'll respect it. Use the fortification on Teemos. He's going to be able to walk away.
Hey, having the AC makes a big difference. And the Paladin Sword, he's got a lot of life steal right now, like over 50%. But Rack's probably going to die.
I'm not sure about this, Palantimos. There's a lot of CC here. In fact, he is going to have to use that reincarnation as he was chasing after Agnar. And they'll follow up. Petishar waiting in the perfect position. Ice Blast coming in hot. It doesn't quite manage to land on them, though, as now the Wraith King's going to get held into place. He's going to go down a second time. No buyback on the Wraith King. The drawback over onto Big Num. We're going to see Ghostic buying back, as now it's not looking too good. This Naga, she's so massive. It doesn't matter about the Sprout. She's got spider legs. Pikachu, he's being chased by these illusions. It's not even the real Naga. He can't deal with them.
They just can't deal with these. Look at this. A bunch of illusions just forcing 3 heroes, pretty significantly farmed heroes, into the fountain because they just can't deal with it. I mean, that Hex, I think the crucial thing that I gasped about was Shaman's Hex on the Sand King was excellent in that last fight. Somebody report that guy to Overwatch because he was clearly scripting. Prevented the Burrow Strike immediately after the Epi came out. Delayed his towards delaying things. I think the hero that's felt a little bit weak is certainly the Sand King. I like the laning stage stuff you can certainly criticize Ghostic for, but other than that, like they've been locking him down consistently. He does not look like a tanky offlane hero. He's like an initiator, but that aspect of him has felt just not strong enough basically to justify him being the offlaner. So like it's just not enough tankiness on the Unique side, and they're not initiating, and as a result, that's what makes this game so hard. But it's hard to find good initiations on the enemy team, especially against the Naga Siren. So I'm sure they're up against the wall with how difficult this is, but they need to be the ones to initiate. It's really important.
All right. Well, hopefully they'll try to make a play, try to use that. You know, I talked about presence. I'd like to see them continue with it. It felt like they kind of took their foot off the gas pedal, and Empire just started grouping up and making some very nice moves. So let's see.
Part of that is the issues with pushing, though. If you cannot push out your lanes, it feels very difficult to get kills because a bigger percentage of the map is farther away from you to gank, and therefore like everything feels inefficient. You can't just like smoke from your side of the map, go deep in the enemy tri-camp, and hope that a carry is there. Because most of the time it's not going to work. There's not going to be anybody there. So that's what makes it hard. You have less gank opportunities if the lanes are constantly. Is a big reason why this game is tough.
All right, well, you know, tide's turning to their favor, perhaps, if they pick up a double damage run over onto Palantimos. They're still smoked up. There's also smoke on the low ground, though, here from Empire Ghostic, placing his body very forward here. They go for yet another smoke. They really, wow, that's like their third smoke that they've used?
Could be good.
Can they get anyone, though, is the question. They do spot out Smiling Knight. They know it's the real one. The smoke is broken. Gwynblythe, though, look at this positioning. Who can get the jump on who? And it's going to be the jump coming out immediately from Empire. And they'll get off the Exorcism on the back lines. The Hex will just hold them into place over there. This Wraith King isn't allowed. Going to be the reincarnation. Pikachu was chasing after the Shaman. He's not going to be able to quite find. The BKB is going to come out. Ice Blast gets tossed, but doesn't do anything here as Pikachu gets dunked. Gwen Blythe sitting over on the back line, turns back around, drags right back in over here on the Wraith King. This Wraith King, you know, he has great items, but he's not allowed to do anything in these fights. They call the GG. They just realized they've got nothing to deal with this Naga.
Really hard for them to force engagements there, and that's basically the story of the whole game, was that Empire had really straightforward ways to initiate. It was either Axe getting a call, he uses a jump in, and he silences like 2 to 3 heroes, and every time you do that as your initiation, it's going to make the enemy team and put them in such a bad position. Like, how are you supposed to counter initiate that when 3 of your heroes get silenced instantly at the start of the fight? You can't just like Yules yourself and then like resume fighting. By that point, your opponents already have like 3 seconds of initiation to counter that. So very difficult game because they couldn't deal with the Naga illusions, because they couldn't get on the enemy side of the map efficiently, because they didn't get those like pressure kills from the 10 to 15 minute mark. All of this was just really well played by Empire, well drafted, well executed, well laned.
Saw a couple little mistakes coming out from Unique, but at the end of the day, it really just was that Empire played very nice Dota. And it's really, you know, nice to see, especially, you know, being able to see a hero like Nagasar and kind of take off and have that space. And even though, you know, you are pressed up against the wall.
Watch the time, I can't find the point where I to pass the line, right? You're the night sky, I'm trying to see your stars, but I always fear the dark. Now I see brightly, I can feel your silence. You always feel so far, and your stars are burnt out, and your heart makes no sound. I'll find valid in your eyes. You'll always be my night sky. You'll always be my night sky. You'll always be my night sky. You'll always be my night sky.
I get lost inside my thoughts, and when I start to think, oh, the Tahoe close, it starts to end up on the brink. I tried so hard, but all these scars, they cut so deep, I bleed. I fell so fast from heaven, it's like someone clipped my wings. Now I'm falling, and I can't see the ground. Can we stop this gravity? It keeps bringing me down. I can't breathe, and I don't wanna die. Can we stop this gravity? 'Cause I don't wanna say goodbye. I forgive the pain you gave to me so long ago. Sleepless nights I laid awake just begging to let go. I almost got to suicidal thoughts, but you stepped in. An angel sent from heaven showed me how to live again. Now I'm falling, and I can't see the ground. Can we stop this gravity? It keeps bringing me down. I can't breathe, and I don't wanna die. gravity. Gravity.
but I'd never say goodbye or ever leave this stuff behind. When it's good, it's amazing. When it's bad,
we up with a slow motion crew, and we up in our growlings when people change, but not us. And we just chillin', kicking it, kissed by the sun. Could be soaked to the skin in the mall soon. I know she got the good vibes when seasons change, but we're the same. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding. And I'll be running, possessed by a low, low voodoo. Fired up like a wolf on the full moon. And we're stuck in a la la land. The tides will turn without us. And I'll be killing time like I might be a cartoon. Take it in real life like haiku. I know we got the good vibes when pieces fall right into place. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. Play me like a bass guitar, simmer down and mess me up, tripping like I'm Jimmy at Woodstock. Drive me around in your red Ford, shivers down my spinal cord. Oh. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding.
comfort of your draft. Same to Shaker. And then, of course, in the game, Shaker does have a slight edge, but just in drafting speak, I think those two heroes, like you pick them and you're like, what are you going to do?
Because the versatility chart of DP is so high.
Correct.
While Earthshaker, we know it's a 4 position.
Okay.
From a drafting perspective, it does give you certain tools. I also want to know, Unique banning the Void Spirit. Like,
The
no,
respect. Yes.
Yeah.
we're done with that.
No more shall you silence our backlines.
No more, sir. And that'll make the Bat Rider pick a little bit better as well.
Yeah.
This
Right.
time around, the Empire also respects the Ancient Apparition. They banned that out. Interestingly enough.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising because with the Bat Rider pickup, I'm pretty sure this Death Prophet's not going to go mid. I guess it could still go offlane, which if that's the case, it would make much more sense that they banned out the AA. Maybe they're planning to pick another hero that's countered by the AA. They do have good setup for it again this game on Team Unique. If they were to have picked AA, usually the hero just lacks the ability to set up his own kills. Last game, though, that Naga Siren proved to be like the perfect counter to it. I did like it in the draft, but they just played it really well on the map itself. And so both teams in the last 2 days have showed me something promising. The second stage of the draft is going to tell me a lot about Team Unique's adjustments to the first game. Not necessarily saying their strategy was bad, but I think they didn't give themselves the right matchups to utilize the aggression they drafted. So far they've got the aggression again, but what are they going to do strategy-wise to make sure it's enabled?
Yeah, regarding that AA ban, I think it's mainly from Empire's perspective, Unique or second pick, they need to pick a support entering that second phase, and it's too easy to pick it, right? It's like the same story as if I pick Shaker, you go Rubik Clock. If I go DP, you might want to go for the AA. And it's the idea of simplicity of draft and how you can force your opponent to have to overthink things when you take away the easiest pick.
Especially since the Ancient Apparition would actually be better set up this game with Earthshaker Bat Rider compared to what they had before, which was mostly Sand King, somewhat Wraith King.
Look at all these spirits being banned out. Oh, we've got the Storm and the Void Spirit. We're going to go for the Ember as well. Just make sure Gwynblade has no heroes to play in the mid lane.
Bat Rider's too good in landing stage versus Ember, I think.
Yeah, that's true. I was just light memeing there, but yeah.
I know you work,
Thank you.
T-Gov, but I'm also used to paneling with Kyle where I can never really tell, and usually he's just factually incorrect about what.
Oh, don't mind.
True.
I think it was Scriff with a tweet about like there's like the 50-50 is basically Carl. You know, like with EE, where it's like a good play or a bad play. We need like a Carl version of that. But a true phrase. I'm trying to work out what word we can turn into. But again, that's not for now. It's too much thinking needs to be done.
5 seconds.
Yeah, I already have the draft to think about. Can only focus on one thing at a time. We'll think on it though.
Man, they really banned the Luna, huh?
They really did. Yeah. Which is surprising because so far it's like it is Empire that has tried the Luna, right? They tried and failed.
I also feel like it's been boozing every game.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
don't forget two things here. A team who plays a hero often puts that hero in higher respect to any other team, right? Because they're the one that are trying it and they understand it. So if they're picking certain heroes, they can see the weakness of their draft because they've already fully explored this hero, right? It might not have great effect in officials. They've also said that they scrimmed a lot together. So right now, what we're seeing in this draft, they might, on their Dota buffs, their public matches, there might not be a lot revealed. But again, they might have a lot more kind of hidden strats that they're kind of weaseling their way through.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I wonder if they're hiding some stats because the official stats are 0 and 4.
Yes. I'm not saying they're good stats, Cap. I'm just saying they're stats nonetheless.
Yeah, including the unique match where they played against Navi, where they did play the Luna. Enigma, yes. Big fan of this hero, especially with a forward position that wants to be able to rotate around like Earth Spirit.
All right, which analyst is taking the free shot at the fact that there's for this Enigma pick? Anyone want to take it based on what we see from Unique? No,
What?
no easy.
Brian, do you know what he's talking about?
I don't actually know.
Okay, no, it's fine. So with Enigma, there's no easy BKB, piercing, stun, other than maybe Lasso if he hits the perfect blink, Aether Lens build.
You're saying who wants to take the free easy?
Yeah, exactly.
analysis?
Yeah.
I
Of
see, I
course.
see.
You should have asked me. I would have known that. I felt like I wasn't included in the analyst part.
Yeah, we're
exactly.
all analysts here.
No, I'm not.
I was overthinking that one for sure. I didn't know what you. I didn't know. You were
I just didn't understand what T-Guff was asking.
I'll take a swig of water and take a back seat.
Yeah, it's usually when I'm like trying to coach and I'm leading people on with questions, and then I listen to myself. I'm like, damn, I don't know how they were ever gonna get that right.
That's true. You set them up for failure, so then you look smarter. That's
exactly.
That's what we're doing. Very good. Very
All right,
good.
Brian. I know the same thing.
BSJ, like Dota's an amazing like open game, right?
Yep.
There's so many. It's not you have choice A or choice B. It's you have the whole alphabet of decisions to be able to make. But he loves asking. So this thing's happening right now. What should you be doing?
Oh, I love
and
that.
You're just
question,
like, well, there's a lot of things to be, but Brian's looking for one answer.
yeah.
So there's a lot of things.
Well, the thing that you have to understand, though, Cap, is a lot of times I'm not trying to get them to be the right answer. It's all about understanding how people think.
Yeah, you need their
That's the whole part
perspective.
about Dota.
You can't force.
You can ask a question, and they can give 20 different answers.
Yes.
And it gives you a little peek into what's going on up there, because Dota's all interpretation. Drafting's all interpretation. It's all our own bias and experience. That's what I love about it. It's like I could see a pick and hate it, but this team has probably scrimmed with it and really like it in whatever scenario they picked it.
How
that
about
is
the
very
life
wise.
stealer?
Yes,
Do you
I
like
know.
you see this pick, you hate it or you love it?
I actually don't mind Lifestealer here. I think because they have Enigma, they have like late game secured. They needed a hero that doesn't need help, because Enigma, he kind of takes space away from the team for the first like 10 minutes, where he's building up his. He's like pulling the lane back, probably going for that first timing, and he's gonna get ran at by this Lycan. So now my concern is that yes, they have the independent carry. Yes, they have like the first 5 minutes accounted for, but who's gonna deal with this Lycan running at you with book one? Like as of now, all of their heroes other than Lifestealer just kind of get dove. They don't have the counterplay. So they ban out the Timber. Tide's already banned out. What else is left? You can't pick like the Wyverns. You can't pick the squishy heroes. You have to pick the beefy boys in front. Do they go for like the Bristleback?
What about the Mars?
Against Batrider?
Something to like keep this Lycan in place somewhere.
Against Bat though.
Yeah,
it's
that
like
would feel good.
Underlord.
I want something to enable this Lifestealer just be able to hit people and keep them in place.
I kind of like the idea of maybe a Kunkka. In lane, it might not feel that great, but that's probably like the go-to shout here. I like the idea of the Lifestealer simply because it deals very easily with the first 3 picks of Unique, and it can kind of indirectly deal with Lycan because he's a hero that stands in front of the tower, doesn't care about the other damage sources, and then eventually the Enigma plus whatever last pick comes in from Empire will help mitigate that Lycan threat. But yeah, I like the idea.
Testing the Necro book's actually not bad either. Removing the book 3 like super early, it's totally worth infesting it.
Okay. So they go for a Queen of Pain, a bit more tempo setting and a lot more damage, where we've seen these Lycan picks. If they go to an objective and there's a lot of instant pressure or the ability to be blown up, it is hard for them to play, and there is no tanky hero right now on Unique that will comfortably kind of soak up this Quap damage first. They will always be able to find the Lycan, they'll always be able to get that kill if it's Quap plus Earth Spirit, Quap plus Enigma. And they have a vessel for the Lifestealer. Lifestealer jumps inside the Quap, jump on some hero, they're going to be dead.
No, I think they're strong focus on lanes here, where they want to corner this Batrider pick and say, like, you're not going to have a good lane wherever you go.
That's nice. You don't really care as well about the Shaker rotation to mid, just blink over it. I like how Empire rounded their draft. Not often will I look at a Lifestealer and be too happy, but because of the Enigma, because of the Earth and the Quap, it's just a Lifestealer. All he has to do is just farm a couple items and then exist, and he should be able to win this game with his team.
I'm still slightly concerned about this Lifestealer just being kited around in team fights. I feel like you're very dependent on your Earth Spirit and Enigma to get a good entrance.
All right. Unique, very strong draft is suddenly. This last pick, Medusa, is kind of cool. The key thing here, the matchup is simply Medusa v Lifestealer. Medusa favored the entire time. Medusa v Enigma is very 50-50. If Medusa gets ult off, you never black holes, whatever. But if the Enigma gets to jump on Medusa, she blows up. It's just like she doesn't get to play Dota. So yeah, it's a very interesting matchup between those two heroes.
Yeah, I was going to say, I wanted to make sure it's, so it is going to be a 3 Lycan with Pikachu playing the mid Batrider. And they're actually, I think the Death Prophet plus Enigma combo is interesting because either one could be 3, 5. They could both swap around. So here it's going to be the Enigma pulling that lane back like you guys were talking about for the independent Lifestealer carry.
Final thoughts on the draft from Brian?
Honestly, this is one of the weirder drafts that I've ever had to analyze. By picking this Medusa, they
falling down all around this empty town. I'm searching for the lost and found, but you don't care, you're unaware. Keep moving like the scars aren't even there. It's in the air like a blazing flare. Don't stare 'cause the flames will burn us. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. I used to kiss your head when you cried for me. Hold your hand while the pain was over. Keep you warm by the roaring sea. You meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me.
Where Lycan's going to be, that kind of thing. Right now they are scouting to see where Empire is going lane matchups, but the nice thing about what Empire is doing is if they get their ideal lane matchups, I think they're in a good spot. The Enigma's a 5, so they were planning to lane him against an offlane Lycan. That'll slow down Lycan overall net worth and make his necro timings a little bit less worrisome for them. And then they also ideally wanted to have Death Prophet match up against Dusa with a Burst Spirit. They're going to be lane swapping now, I believe, because they finally spot the Lycan in the top lane. So probably we'll see how they adjust to this basically, but they have better vision than their opponents right now, so they should be able to lane swap earlier.
Yeah, it's actually pretty incredible to see the wards that they place down over on the side of Empire here, really just making sure they can keep tabs on any sort of rotations coming in or out. But you can see Flair's gonna just get a hit off over here on Eknard. Flair a little bit back. Really just making sure they can keep back and forth. Fissures.
See him against the Enigma is decent too, because they have good AoE. Like the secret to beating Enigma is basically just kill his Eidolons. So having this matchup is decent. They TP'd Earth Spirit bottom as well, so this appears to be the lane setup they do want, yeah. Yep, and now Enigma's going top against the Lycan. That'll deny his farm, and should slow him down. I think this is the lane setup that Empire wanted, so that they can get their favorable matchups, and ideally just not feed too much.
I mean, that is always the hope, right? Is that you don't feed too much, especially at the start of the game, but definitely, you know, shoring up these lane matchups will help. They're just going to be thrown out over here. But Shar's kind of stuck in the corner. He's trying to just make his way through, and he's getting stuck on all these trees. He's going to be our first blood. Slayer. Getting the first blood on the Death Prophet in the bottom lane.
Yeah, maybe a mistake. I didn't see the lead up to it, but this is basically a double wave, and there's a tri-lane, and you let yourself get fissure block. It's not easy, of course. Maybe that's on Sayu to not get good vision of where the Earthshaker is standing, but a little rough there to get picked off right away, but not the end of the world.
They'll get a little damage, kicked back over onto Palantimos. But again, how much can you really do here as the fissure comes out? Sayu's still trying to chip away here. Force out some of that regen on Palantimos.
So far.
Yeah.
Quap struggling a little bit in the mid lane. She missed a couple last hits from the first wave, and she's picking up a lot of sticky napalm charges, but now that she has a stick, she'll be able to dagger pretty much to her heart's content. Very looks like things are more stabilized there. And then get another kill. Once again, looks like a fissure block, spells, and damage for Death Prophet to go down. 34 seconds, and he's gonna have to walk. This is getting a little bit rough. Enigma does shift towards the safe lane here to try to offset this tri-lane a bit, but so far the tri-lane's going quite well for Unique.
Nothing lane.
Yeah.
But no
way.
And importantly, not only is he going to be late here, but if they do feel like they have to shift Enigma over here to offset this tri-lane, his life stealer, so he's just going to be completely happy, and they're going to have an off circumstance. So them getting Death Prophet, it puts them in a great spot on the unique side.
Is this the best move here, or would you rather that they put more pressure onto other lanes? Instead of rotating them down.
Enigma point. It looks like he's denying some range creeps as they come through. Then he's jungling to help offset his levels, because him standing in the lane, I don't think really accomplishes that much either.
Okay.
They're kind of just really well and unique. Look at this, Death Prophet can't even come up, because if you get close to the wave, then you get fissure block, then they finally go for these kills on you. It's a scary place to be in. Steam has completely full Crystal Maidens, so I mean, they're just at a big disadvantage now in this lane setup. So Medusa's going to get free farm. The Lycan should do fine. He's at 13-3. This is looking good.
That's definitely not what you want to hear, that the cores on both sides are just having the time of their lives. And again, over in that mid lane, you know, Quap's holding her own against the Batrock. Going even here and losing the other two lanes doesn't feel good.
Yeah, it does not feel good. We'll see if she can get the top rune. I guess she doesn't have her bottle yet, so it's not that big of a deal. It ends up being bottom. Arcane rune going to Batrider. Like, Quap is great at punishing tri-lanes in circumstances like this, because you just show up with level 6 and you blow up one, maybe two heroes. They're going to pressure Slayer a little bit here.
Yeah, he's got the Frostbite and he's got the follow-up here from being a little bit off the mark with the initial roll. I think was a bit of a problem, but the fissure, he is on the correct side of it. So he'll be able to walk away. Just a bit of skirmish back and forth. Pikachu's taking a lot of damage here. Over on Gwynblythe, so.
Very patient by the Quap there. I thought he was going to blink away for sure when Firefly got used, but held it. Got the dagger off as Batrider ran away, and now as a result, Batrider's really low on HP. Even. And because Quap has so much mana from all the sticky charges, she's just power spamming Shadow Strike. It does a lot of damage at 3 points, things like 400 damage or something like that. So Batrider's going to be forced to jungle a little bit until the bounty runes.
Not going to be able to do too much off of it. They'll turn back around with the Frostbite. Bignum rearing up here, does throw out the fissure. Petashara, there's not much that he can do. Those forcing out those stick charges and the fairy. But it feels effectively like they're being held hostage in their own lane in the bot.
They are a bit, but at least the creep wave is up a bit now, so Death Prophets can be.
We're on Seiyu, but
again.
It's the illusion.
It's a good one. He'll dispel this dagger. Yep, perfect. And that saves him 400 HP, and he's got a refilled bottle. It's a nice little momentum swing there.
Very value.
Observer Ward's going to die now. There it goes down. That'll make the lane even harder for Empire to get pressure. I love the dire Observer Wards too, just spotting all the rotations from the tri-lane towards mid. It's going to lower Batrider's chance of dying.
Man, Seiyu is just off the mark on all of these rolls. Still looks like they should be able to finish up the kill on Slayer. No, not quite. This Crystal Maiden is going to be able to walk away.
Not his fault, though. Again, it's vision. They saw him coming. He pinged it out. He knows that their opponents have vision. They're just going to need sentries to deal with this. There's another downside to being having this weird tri-lane setup, is that your net worth and your levels, everything gets a little bit wacky, and it puts you off your normal behavior. And as a result, it's going to take longer to get these D wards impossible than normal. So Seiyu's got good levels at least. He's level 4, but yeah, he would have loved to have some kills or assists under his belt.
We've got the Necrobook level 1 picked up now for Ghost Stick here in the top lane. Smiling Knight chonking away at him a little bit. Does have that Orb of Venom to go and put some pressure, but okay, Pikachu finds a kill on Gwynblythe in the mid lane. With the lasso
no vision.
used.
They didn't see the Earthshaker standing there. He gets the fissure to set up the lasso, and then easy kill with the follow-up damage in the Enchant Totem. So nice play by Bignum there. He's doing a great job. Game is still equal. We haven't looked at the top lane in a while. 52 and 10 on life, so he's actually doing very, very good against Ghost Stick. One upper hand that he does have, he's actually punishing these wolves really well. Because with 4 points in Ghoul Frenzy, it's a 25% movement speed, so he's just killing them. So every time the wolves come forward, he gets 36 gold. So Lycan has the same problem. If he walks up, he's going to chase and pressure him really heavily. Just now getting his ulti, so Ghost Stick actually is getting out-farmed in this 1v1. It's the life stealer master here.
Yeah.
It's one of the upsides of having specialists.
Well, Lycan's going to make his way bottom, though. Summon those puppies. And looks like they'll place some pressure. This time, Seiyu will be able to kick back over onto the Earthshaker, grab up the Arcane Rune. But pressure is on. Eknart, hiding over in the tree line, does not have the black hole, so he's going to have to teleport out. Petashara looks like he is going to go down here. Seeing another TP coming. Oh, nope, they cancel it. I was about to say, that feels very ambitious.
For But they have Eidolons here, though. That'll slow down the tower pressure. He'll cut the creep wave with his Eidolon, or with his Necros, but... And now they deward well, at least one of the Observer Wards. Another one's going to be available to spot these rotations, but can't help but think that this tier 1 tower is going to die as a result. If they can defend this, it would be pretty big, but with that canceled TP, it must have been Quaps, actually. She's on cooldown for a bit.
Yeah.
Going to be a little harder.
Come down. They need to take down these Necro books. They'll force them off, though.
Okay.
Defended.
Not too bad. So what Lycan does at this time is normally he's going to jungle, but until he gets his ulti back up again, he's going to be pretty passive. On the upside for Empire, like they have no kills on the board, but Smiling Knight's been top this whole time, still getting free farm and pressuring his own tier 1 tower. That thing's almost dead already, and that was a solo hero contribution. So yes, they're getting kills on the board, but technically Empire's getting more out of this game right now with less resources. So
well, I mean, it is called Defense of the Ancient, and the buildings are a big part of the objective to winning the game. So they take down the first tower for the side of Empire. So make a couple of rotations around the map. You can see Palantimo's now in the mid lane. Pikachu's just backing off. Does have the boots of travel online, so he'll have more of a presence. Wow, exactly the same amount of time as the fastest.
we're going to need more significant figures to know if it's truly...
Can we get it down to the milliseconds, please? Blasso's gonna get used over here onto the Enigma. Bignum following up. Ghost Sticks nearby. To jump forward here, they'll use the Exorcism here. Petrishar does get stunned up. Quinblight is just taking a bath over here on the side. Gets the Sonic Wave off. Needs to be careful. These Necro books are just chasing him down. He has no mana left. Pikachu is still alive here as Bignum does go down. Gonna have to bottle up. There's an Invis rune. I don't think they have the detection. So Pikachu's allowed to just disappear and walk away.
Yep, little too fast there. Blink Strike was already used. Quap used all of her mana going in. Separated most of the heroes. Batrider plays the cliff area while he runs away, and he's able to escape without too much danger there. Gotta be careful for Petishara on the offlane here. Lycan's got his ulti available. His Necro's almost dead though, so that's one upside. Some time to wait, but Smiling Knight still hitting creeps on the top lane confidently. Armless ready, level 10 on him now. He does a huge amount of damage. Always infest a creep if things get a little bit hairy, and the disables are weak enough that he should be covered in getting into a creep if he does get ganked. So the fact that he can play this aggressive is really just a testament to what Lifestealer brings as a carry.
I mean, that was always one of the reasons why people like picking up is the fact that he is pretty self-sufficient. In terms of being able to stay in the lane. Not quite as good as like something like a Jug, but very similar, right? The fact that you do have that magic immunity, you've got a way of healing up. And then, of course, with his ultimate being able to just hitch a ride and run on out. So we're seeing the power of that right now. And it's interesting how some teams have really picked up on it and others, you know, just have ignored the hero completely.
Yep. Depends on your comfort level and some other stuff, too. Beta Brooch drop-in, very good item for Death Prophet. She wants it later on. And Enigma also picking up level 5, so almost 6. Definitely delayed from what you'd want, because obviously Black Hole's a big deal, but he's got the skills, he's got the items here, doesn't have a boots just yet, so grabbing a Black Hole might be a little bit tough, but I mean, if you're 5 position, you get dove by like Lycan at this point. I wouldn't even care that much if you use Black Holes. All
right, well, they'll grab the support here in the mid lane with the lasso. Pikachu finds kill. Thought he might be able to roll on out, but too much damage. Smiling Knight is just taken over the dire jungle here. They have not been able to flush him out. And with the lasso being down, I don't think he has much fear.
He's surrounded by like 4 enemy heroes right now, and he just doesn't care. It's actually significant.
Yeah, just hops a ride here, tosses a rock over at Pikachu. And there's
more shards when he pops out. Watch out.
Oh boy. He's a coming. Exorcism does get tossed out, though. Full Frostbite up the creep, and they'll chonk away at it. He's going to pop out. There's the little guys. They throw out a couple of rocks. All the rocks are being thrown at Palantimos there.
Watch out. Good gank, Smiling Knight. Now, the Frostbite hard counters him, obviously. 10 seconds. The Mud Golem was destined to die when that comes out, so he can't play extremely cheeky like that, but they're still sitting in a really solid place, actually. Like, net worth, he's got a firm lead. Pikachu's also doing really good. 5.6k net worth on him. Lycan's net worth also really solid, considering how his lane went. He's got Necro 3 finished, so good luck keeping your wards on the map from here on out. But Empire is sitting mid, ready to go. They've got Black Hole ready. Their opponent's committal too far, it's going to be hard, but it's still going to be a hard game for Black Hole. You've got to really worry about Medusa's Stone Gaze. That's the most threatening thing. Obviously, Earthshaker Fissure is another problem, and when you're playing a 5 position, you're just going to have to take the ultis that you can get, I think. So, I don't know. I don't think he really denied that much farm playing in this game. Definitely felt like he was more of like a mix of laning and jungling. And then core net worths on the enemy team are looking pretty good. I guess Deuces is low. That's the biggest advantage that Empire has. So you can maybe justify what Enigma's done so far there.
I think it's going to be interesting because how do you get into these fights as an Enigma, right? There's so many things that you have to climb your way through, be aware of. And I guess, like, who's your main initiator? Like, you can have the Quap, I guess, kind of jump in, but she's fairly fragile. And then you've got, you know, the Earth Spirit who can kind of roll in as well. But it's a hard game to play Enigma, honestly, and, like, get off all of your spells without dying.
It's, I think, crucially, and this, I saw No Tail do this first. I don't know if he invented it or anything, but when you play 5 Enigma, just max out Malefice. It's a really good nuke, actually. It's 300 magic damage, which is pretty normal, but it's 3 seconds of stun over the course of 3 instances. So against a lot of cores, if you just land Malefice and you drop Midnight Pulse is going to do, like, I don't know, 20% of their max HP in damage. That's a lot of damage output. And once in a while, after a elongated fight or when somebody's really separated, you drop the Black Hole on somebody and there's another 400 pure damage. Like, it's an insane amount of damage, actually, for a support to be doing, plus the lockdown. So yes, you're not really going to expect them to, like, jump in and Black Hole like 5 heroes. It's more like over the course of a long fight where Lifestealer's far in front and they maybe initiate on him, he's going to eventually be able to grab a Black Hole on some core hero when they're a little out of position. So they just got to be careful to save stuns to deal with him, and then maybe things will be fine.
They know that Lycan's not... well, he's turned back around again. They have some nice ward vision off to the side. You can see Ghost Stick considering going forward, but they know he's there. Dash forward, back here, Smiling Knight running away here. Petchar, they go and they drop the Midnight Pulse. Petchar goes down, but he gets 2 of them in this Black Hole. They're all coming out. They'll be able to go and punish Pikachu, plus the Sonic Wave over on them and the Magnetize. It's a decent amount of damage. Echo Slam comes out. The Aknart will go down. They'll be able to take down Smiling Knight. As now Sayer is just trying to do whatever he can here, but not quite enough damage.
That's how you get Black Hole. You don't need boots. They just run into you, and you're like, okay, here we go. The downside was that Empire was not quite ready to commit at that exact same moment, so they were also retreating. They lost, like, the first second or 2 of the Black Hole, and incredible. And I think Exorcism was probably gone at that point too. So damage output a little bit low. They lose the team fight. They lose Lifestealer. Not great for Empire.
But if they had
a lot of cooldowns used.
They had just a little bit more damage, right? Because that Sonic Wave looked really nice. You had 2 of the heroes that were stuck in the Black Hole, but
it was close. Yeah. If they have Orchid, maybe they clean up another one of those. There's a lot of possibilities there in that fight.
Now, if you're on the side of Team Unique, you're very happy with that engagement. You lost your Bat Rider, but did a little bit more. Now you don't have to worry about Black Hole. You have some time. Go farm up. You can see Pikachu here just throwing down these stacks of Sticky. We'll be able to get a lot of gold off of that. Slayer doing a little bit of dewarding.
Yeah, they have a little window here in the next, like, 50 seconds where they could fight with better cooldowns than their opponents, but the downside is that Sonic Wave's going to be up, Exorcism's going to be up. It's basically just Black Hole. I don't think it's, like, exploitable enough to really force something, but I definitely see Unique is going to make more likely to go to make stuff happen on the map anyways when they have their ult. They don't care that much about Black Hole. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
It's their biggest form of lockdown. I feel like it's not that big of a deal, but it is a big deal, if it makes sense.
Yeah.
Smiling Knight revealing himself, going forward, looking to try to make some plays over for these runes. Gwimblythe, the smoke does pop. Seeing if maybe they can bait them into anything here. For these runes, Gwimblythe, the smoke does pop. Seeing if maybe they can bait them into anything here. Necro books. Oh, Sayer's just gonna hide out underneath this ward with the smoke still on him. He's gonna roll down to the low ground. And they'll
get very smart of Slayer. He used his Nova to make it seem like he didn't have vision on the cliff. like really small thing, but if he just attacks it twice, there's a ward there, you know? But now it just kind of looked like he was checking. So they get the vision control there. It was a good attempt at an invade, but their opponents were positioned really well. The smoke breaks in an advantageous way. And back to farming now for Empire. 4K advantage for Unique though. They're definitely out farming right now. With the Medusa, with the Lycan, with the Batrider, all these cores are farming really quick, much faster than a Lycan. But like everybody else on the Unique side is going to take
To man fight a little bit because he knows he's going to go down, but he's just locked down too hard, Purge.
It's really cool play by Unique. They basically feinted that everybody was sitting behind Medusa. They got the ward dewarded by the CM, and then she backed up before she even killed the sentry. And because they got that ward, they said, guys, we can go do the next step, the next place where they're going to be. And they got there just in time. Infest came on Earth Spirit so that they could roll out, but they caught him in time. And it was all came down to that D-ward and then that quick movement that they made to get that kill. So more tempo. That's the enemy carry they just killed. And they didn't even commit anything really big other than Lasso and Echo Slam. And I guess, all right, they used a lot of their ultimates, but they got some crucial kills. Really nicely moving, very nice move and really high tempo. Got them that extra advantage.
No, they're, it feels like a little bit of a swap around. We talked about game one, how Empire just played really, really nice. It wasn't that, Unique was playing poorly, but this time around, Unique's making all the right moves. So some pressure placed in the mid tower here with the Exorcism. Good Blight hiding behind the tree line here, waiting for anyone to show up. Because they aren't together just yet. Eknart is going to go make himself some Eidolons, put the pressure down in the mid lane. Wolves scouting a little bit as Pikachu doesn't have the lasso up just yet. Does have BKB though. Smiling Knight walking forward here. He's going to put some more Tesla. Down goes the tower. And it looks like they're going to try to just walk away. Pikachu, he's got the Firefly up. Spots out Eknart. Oh, Eknart, he's just too slow. Down he goes. Bounty runes are up. They're still chasing. They're hoping maybe they can can get a grab on somebody. Fissure comes back out. It's not looking good for Petashara. You can see the teleports coming. Over on the back end, though. They're jumping in. And can they take down Slayer? He's still alive, though. He's still doing the dance. So Slayer, he's going to go down. And eventually, are they going to be able to do anything else here? They're just all running away. These Necro books are doing so much damage.
To see him get the kill on the Enigma with the Necrobook before he even pop his ulti, and then finally when the engagement comes, all they get out of it is the 5-position hero. That was CM's first death of the game. Took a lot of magic damage to kill her. Yeah, he's doing great.
Usually she's the first one to die in the games. It's kind of like a good luck charm, you know? You know your CM's going to give first blood, and you're like, all is right in the world.
Yeah, something like that. I think what's very crucial is that, like, while the kills didn't seem like that big of a deal before, they certainly are now. 3-14.
Uh-oh, Smiling Knight, they have lasso up. They'll use the lasso. BKB just dragging back over here on Smiling Knight. The Fissure gets tossed out. There's just too much damage for Smiling Knight to have to deal. Eknard, now he's just going to get chased down by this bat. Too much damage.
It just feels like they can't do anything offensively, is what it feels like. The kills didn't matter before, now they matter. The cores on the Empire side, 0-3-2 Lifestealer, 0-2-2 Bop. Like, they just don't have opportunities to get kills. They picked maybe Lycan's in trouble bottom, but no, Tower's dead. Ugh.
Yeah, it just feels like they got all this momentum and there's no way for Empire to kind of get back into it. Like, it felt bad, right? The fact that Death Prophet just had a terrible laning stage and Gwynblythe just hasn't had any chance to really go for any sort of gank moves, it feels like. Look at this. Slayer has no fear here. Got the Glimmer Cape on, just throws out the Frostbites, waiting for Bignum to follow up with a nice Fissure. Silence does get used over on the CM, but like, there's a problem when the position 5 CM feels that powerful that they can turn around. Does go for the ultimate here. Not going to be able to quite get the kill on Glimblight, but it was enough damage to make it very nervous. The roll forward, they'll probably be able to get the kill on Slayer, but bouncing back here from Pikachu. He's got an Invis and he's dusted up though, so they might be able to go and get their revenge as Pikachu pops the BKB, tries to bottle up. Oh, the Surf there from the Earth Spirit to save his core. What a bro.
So sick. Mega bro, dude. Batrider getting that kill would have been huge. 5-1 and 8 on him. That's like a level at least for Lifestealer. Huge block there. Really nicely done.
Look at this.
Like, one more hit. Here comes the boulder.
Bignum. Bignum God. The bodyguard. Oh?
On the bright side, Empire is going to go into the Roche pit as a result. Big ultimates used. Earthshaker dead for 15. That's the guy they're scared about fighting into.
Purge, look at the Crystal Maiden's net worth and then look at the offlane Death Prophet's net worth.
Oh no.
Yeah, look, our observer even closes it. They're like, don't look, guys. If we can't see it, it's not real.
It's just a trusty shovel. That's why.
Yeah,
so well.
Totally. Just all the extra bounty. Look at that. There it is. Slayer.
That's
just
the only reason.
Super lucky.
Not dying. It has its perks.
It does.
For sure.
It does indeed.
Scotty's up now on Medusa as well. Great item. It's so good against Death Prophet this game. It's very good against Range Shears. Very good against Queen of Pain. Good against Lifestealer too.
It's looking like... do they go? Do they fit? Yeah, there it is. The Fissure goes out. They'll get the kill on poor Seiyu.
The flesh is weak.
The Shard once again paying off big time. 3.5 second stun.
Oh, Eknart? BKB, the throwback over here as they go for the drag. There's just absolutely no black hole going off here. Petashara next to fall now. Smiling Knight, he's got to use the rage. He's got to run away. But look at this. Ghostic is so fast. It's only because he decides that he's got himself maybe another target that the Lifestealer is allowed to live right now.
It looks really hard to play Enigma 5 against an Earthshaker, that's for sure. But there's got to be other components. I mean, we have seen this matchup before, I think. And the Fissure is definitely really terrifying. It makes it really hard to ever commit your black hole. But I just feel like they're being outmaneuvered by their opponents. They don't have a lot of opportunities to get kills and things like that. Except for this one.
Look at him go.
By a range
he
creep.
Turns around. He's like, oh, I was going to go for that Crystal Maiden, but Palatimos is here. I don't know about that. Nope. I don't want it. No. He just...
He has to attack him like 200 times to kill her with this range creep. Uh-oh.
Oh, Smiling Knight, he realizes that he is in a lot of trouble. Gets off a couple hits on the Crystal Maiden. Fissure comes out. Right. He's blocked in. They follow the enchant totem.
Okay.
Trying to just turn back around. Tries to hit anything. Tries to get away. And he's toggling. Needs to be careful, though, because the Medusa's got the Stone Gaze. Looks like he's going to be allowed to walk away here. Oh, very, very close, though.
I can't believe he's not dead. I thought that was going to be a great Reddit moment, but no, he just sits in his little corner and toggles his armlet. Stays alive. No lasso to commit the kill. Okay. Well, they're still losing, but they haven't died.
They're scanning. They're hunting. And when you can't kill the position 5 CM as a core. All right. Well, throw out the Yules here. I don't know if you want this, guys. Follow the Fissure. Smiling Knight taking a lot of Scotty damage on the back line. Ectart is just absolutely ripped apart by Ghost Sticks. Just army of zoo animals. The chase is on, though, but they have the lasso. They'll drag right back here over onto Pashara. He will fall. Chris Maiden letting it go. They'll find the kill on Seiyu. Smiling Knight and Gwynblythe, the only two alive on the side of Team Empire.
This game looks over to me. Like, did you see what happened? The Necros walked in and they just killed Enigma in like half of 3 seconds.
Ghost Stick even actually hit him? Or was it just all the creeps?
Just summons. Just summons. Ran the summons in. He sits back.
Necronomicon,
Can't black hole that.
Can't just Lycan Wolf.
Yeah, like you can't black hole that. And then even if there is a hero there, there's going to be a Fissure. It just feels like they have no capability to initiate the fight.
Oh my god.
Juice's hitting Lifestealer. He just dies the Necros right away. On the side, Quap is like blinking really defensively to get out of danger. It's really tough here. There's Eknart.
Yeah.
1, 2, just dead.
Yeah.
Just dead almost right away. But I mean, that's AC. It's also minus armor from Howl, so he had like minus 13 armor on him or something like that. He's only got 6 + 7 if he doesn't use Medallion defensively.
I don't know about this, guys. Yeah, the Stone Gaze. Look at the teleports coming out. Fissure gets dropped over by Bignum. And Smiling Knight, he's still chasing. Where's your team, dude? You can't do this. Eknart's trying to follow up. He goes, oh god, I don't want to see these Necrobooks, these creeps. They are chonking away over on the Medusa. They might be able to turn around, maybe get some more damage over here onto the bat. But look at the Smiling Knight. He's so far forward. He's just getting locked down here. He's tossed right back, and they just have so much damage. Aegis is going to go down. Over on the back line. These books are causing so many problems for Eknart. He's literally being chased by Necro books, and he just dies to them. As over on the other side here, Medusa, now she's totally out of mana. They might be able to finally get the kill, but the Echo Slam comes off, and they take that Eknart, take down Seiyu. Down goes Smiling Knight. Gwynblythe is hiding in the trees. Oh, Ghost Stick, he was right next to him. He's getting a couple of these chomps off. They do have the blink. Palantimos does eventually fall. Here's Petushara chasing after Slayer. Pikachu will get the bounce back. Slayer's going to be just fine as he throws out another hit. And down goes Petushara.
That was some, the Lifestealer does not match up so well against Sedusa for many reasons here, and it's about to get worse when she finishes Butterfly, but minus armor is actually really bad against, generally, if going minus armor against Sedusa is not very good, and that's because Mana Shield absorbs damage before any minus armor is taken into account, so the 30% remaining that's dealt, that's affected by minus armor, so you're basically, you're not getting as much value out of a Deso type build as you would normally. You kind of need just overwhelming damage or mana drain to deal with Medusa really well. So that's kind of what we're seeing. The engagement circumstances for Empire, that's what we just saw. That's the best thing they can do. They have to run Lifestealer up in front to be the guy in the front doing stuff who's difficult to kill. And then they need to find an opportunity to kill other heroes. But it's just easier for a Unique to do the opposite. With Eidolons running in, with Batrider finding a grab, with Earthshaker Fissure comboing somebody. It's just so much harder for Empire to initiate competently. And their vision advantage is almost always going to be worse because there's a Necro 3 on the enemy team as well.
Eknart isn't even allowed to participate in these fights. He has been run down by Necro Books and Wolves twice now. No one else really hitting him. It's just been the Necro Books. That feels so bad when your hero doesn't even feel like a hero.
Definitely one of the nice things about Lycan here. Ghost Stick's been playing excellent, 7, 0, and 10. He doesn't get out of position really. He laned pretty fine. He's using his summons in the right place to stabilize for his team here. Look around for any funky items, but everything looks normal.
5-man smoke, and look who they found. It is a Smiling Knight. He's not going to be smiling after this. Look at this, too much damage, too much lockdown. They even go and use the Stone Gaze just in case anyone follows up. And just like that, there is no life steal. Look at Ghost. He's just sending the menagerie after Eknard here. Does have to be a little careful. He might have gone a bit too far, but look at the damage coming out. The Yules comes. Is Eknard? He's just dead again to the summons.
Yep. Not much he can do there. Good luck.
Guys, we've talked about not bullying. He is definitely bullying right now, but they follow up. They'll turn around. The TP coming out. He's going to be able to walk away as they turn back around. They have left behind this Medusa. Slayer goes down. Echo Step followed up, though. It's beautiful. Eknard, he gets off the black holds over. It's the three of them. Can they turn this around? The ghosts, they're swirling around, though. They're dancing. Eknard goes down. They'll try chasing after Gwynplay. He's got no mana there. That is a dead Quap, and they just call the GG. They realize they can't do anything else in this game.
Honestly, very reminiscent of the previous match.
I laid awake just begging to let go. I almost got to suicidal thoughts, but you stepped in. An angel sent from heaven showed me how to live again. Now I'm falling and I can't see the ground. Can we stop this gravity? It keeps bringing me down. I can't breathe and I don't wanna die. Can we stop this gravity? 'Cause I don't wanna say goodbye.
up with a slow motion crew, and we up in our cloudlands when people change, but not us. And we just chillin', kicking it, kissed by the sun. Could be soaked to the skin in the mall soon. I know she got the good vibes when seasons change, but we're the same. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes turn funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. Cause you got me holding. And I'll be running, possessed by a lone, low voodoo. Fired up like a wolf on the full moon. And we're stuck in a la-la land. The tides will turn without us. And I'll be killing time like I might be a cartoon. Take it in real life like haiku. I know we got the good vibes when pieces fall right into place. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes turn funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding.
but you wanna be my friend. Ain't no place to hide, ain't no one to run to. Here we go again. Call my bluff, I'ma be here till the end. I'm the one you ride, I'm the one you ride to. If you don't wanna change, ain't no place to hide, ain't no one to run to. If you don't wanna change, I can help you out. 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 Here we go again. Time is up and I'm calling up my friends. Ain't no wonder why, ain't no one to ride to. Here we go again. Call me up and you wanna be my friend. I'm the one you ride, I'm the one you ride to. If you don't wanna change, ain't no place to hide, ain't no one to run to. If you don't wanna change, I can help you out. I can help you out. I can help.
For no other, like if we talk about the ag shard, that's obvious. But something he's always done that I'm now seeing utilized by many teams is set you up for an aggro tri-lane when you want to give your offlaner a really good start. So I think when you have a Medusa type carry, a really hard farmer that's going to make virtually no space for your team, aggro tri-laning is super nice because you're underleveled on Dusa, but you're going to have a lot of farm. So you're giving your Lycan, the guy that's going to run around pressuring towers for you, all the space super early on, and then you'll have all the space at like 8 to 15 minutes. And that's like such a good setup that a lot of teams are going for. And it's like, yeah, Lifestealer, quote unquote, bad hero, but it was that last pick Dusa that instead of the Lifestealer being a wall against the Lycan, he's now under pressure to go do something. But that's not what Lifestealer does. He kind of just sits in a lane and hits creeps, and he's much stronger in games where the opponent is pressured to make something happen. And that's why I didn't really like the Queen of Pain pick, because Lifestealer, he's not going to make your team make something happen. Like they had two conflicting ideas. So I think Unique's draft was just much more well-rounded.
Counterpoint. Void Spirit. Good. Void Spirit. Ban.
Cap, stop.
That's why Unique are better drafters.
I told you this off stream, Cap. Stop using these methods because anyone can suddenly do our job.
Well, these guys like to dress it up a whole lot better than it actually is. But, you know, they just want to keep, they're trying to gatekeep people out of analyzing drafting. But it's as simple as good hero, bad hero.
Yeah.
Hey, the more convoluted I explain things, the more difficult my job appears to be. It's very important that you make yourself irreplaceable, Cap. And, I'm figuring out one step at a time how to do that.
He's trying to do it in a different way at the moment.
Exactly.
It's like Kyle 2.0. It's that you're leveling up. I do like the fact that Empire, though, they have the tenacity and desire that they go for the first pick DP, third time in a row now, but they pair it with a Storm Spirit. We've seen how in the second phase bans from Unique, they prioritized Gwynblade's heroes, so I like the fact that they have the confidence just to pick it. Unique, they realize that and go, okay, let's try and go for our instant mid-for-mid matchup. We're not going to hide anything. To go for the Queen of Pain should fare well in the lane against Storm, but the matchup is very volatile in the sense that both heroes like buying the Orchid, and depending on who has better efficiency on the map, Storm going from lane to jungle, Quap going from lane to ganks, whoever gets the Orchid first will suddenly be killing the other hero quite a lot. Void Spirit, good.
Into Quap beat Storm.
But Storm can beat.
No.
Can we talk about that first?
Earthshaker roll.
Good, yes.
Quap beat Storm with Shaker.
Fissure.
Can we talk about
That's
that?
why
Queen
we
of
have
Pain,
three
please?
independent three.
Hello, Queen of Pain, first phase pick by Unique.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about.
Yes.
Yeah, I was breaking down T Governor's point that he took 5 minutes to explain, which was Quap beat Storm Spirit.
That was like
with 4
30
Shaker.
seconds. What are you on about, Cap?
I'm just not used to it being so simplified, you know?
Yeah, understandably, but you know,
Okay,
I'm revolutionizing the space.
That is true.
Appreciated.
Using cap style, CM, or a good global. Done. Secure
More
range
mana
creep. Getting a bit too
team.
detailed now, my cap.
I'm trying to fit in here, guys. I'm not very good.
It's very hard. Cap's really a big
Listen,
aura right now.
Someday you guys will be as three-head as me, all right?
Will we though? Will we though? All right, we got Shadow Shaman picked up as well. Seems like both teams going for their supports there. The Death Prophet is still a flex, which I guess is the only up that Empire has on this draft at the moment.
Yep, correct. Pretty much everything from Empire is showing. Of course, Enkart has highlighted he can play that 5 DP if necessary. And for Unique, they go for the Enigma. Okay.
Yeah, because again, Shaker Rome Quap beat Storm, so they want an independent 3.
Yes. But there's no real but to that. It's pretty good.
I called that like 5 minutes ago with 10 seconds.
Because Shaker is good.
Because Shaker good.
Great. I'm sure loads of people are appreciating our analysis at the moment. Moxie definitely isn't. Shaking her head.
I would love to see some big wave clearing carry right now from Empire. Look, look how happy he is.
He's happy because Bristleback good?
Can be good. Can be
Midnight
good. Can be
Pulse
good.
good.
On occasion.
Brian, please help me.
What am I to do?
It's nice in lane against Enigma. You have the Quills as physical damage since the Enigma Eidolons have really high magic res. But also, once you're done with the laning phase, you have 2 options. You can either continuously run at the Enigma and take his tower pretty early, one of the few carries that can do so, or you can retreat back to stack. So even if you're a bit underleveled or underfarmed because of the Eidolon denies, you'll still be able to hit your timings. And then you're also like a Medusa, where you run in and they don't really want to use spells on you. So we saw that last game against the Enigma, and they're going for a similar idea, but more high tempo.
Yeah, I love that point, really. It's the idea that this Storm already has an awkward game because, you know, Shaker is good, the Quap has Orchid, that's good, Enigma Black Hole, that's good. But the Bristleback, if he can run up into these scary areas, already tank these key spells, it's basically, do you have Echo Slam? Do you not? Do you have Black Hole? Do you not? And if Bristleback's the key hero tanking those spells, suddenly that supporting cast of Empire can come to the kind of the save, the assistance for the Bristleback. So I don't mind it at all. And the laning phase, like we mentioned already.
The one concern I have is if this Enigma operates solo in the lane, pulling the lane back. I like the Bristleback's ability just to be able to sit in that lane, farm Eidolons by himself, no problem. But what does the Death Prophet do? As like Earthshaker's got a thing to do, you know, which is make the Storm Spirit's life hard. Death Prophet, all we have there is stacking.
But the key thing is, if we reference maybe, I think it was Secret played it, where the Bristleback, or maybe it was Liquid, either way, they were diving the tier 1s, playing deep. They had made this like double wave, and the Enigma just wasn't able to play at all because Bristol was level 3, Enigma was level 1, just because of the aggression that they applied. And if they kind of implement that strategy, we could be seeing the issue where Unique, they don't really have an offlane who's able to even farm at this point due to that Bristleback diving underneath towers, and the supporting heroes will have to come help him. I'd like to see Unique pick up an independent carry as well in this kind of situation, just so it frees up the supports to help whatever lane is needed. Is it the mid stopping the Storm? Are they recovering the Enigma's game or what?
So some sort of Juggernaut type hero. You just chill out in lane.
Yeah, entirely depending
Not
on...
Lifestealer though.
Depends on this last pick, but realistically not Lifestealer, no.
Lifestealer bad.
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 Bad. Oh, sorry, we've got to harmonize. My bad, sorry.
So there we go. It is a Bloodseeker for a Team Empire.
What are the chances they do like an aggro tri-lane and put Bristle solo against the Enigma? I think that's one thing I was considering with their supports, because like you said, it's a little bit awkward for, like, yeah, Bristle's nice against Enigma, but what does the other guy do for you other than maybe pull here and there, which is pretty awkward if you're now laning against a CM plus last pick top. So I like Bloodseeker. It gives you a little bit of flexibility. They could both be 3-1. They both lane well against Enigma because Bloodseeker has pure damage and Bristleback has the physical. You're geared up to have some ridiculously early aggression. All of Team Unique's lineup hates getting ran at for like the first 15 minutes of the game. The supports aren't ready to defend themselves yet.
I don't like this pick. Simply
I don't
because
either. I actually like Team Empire's draft a lot more this game. I think that they are going to set a tempo that is way too fast.
Bristleback is the counter to Wraith King in the fact that all your early timings completely remove Wraith King from the game, and you never really deal damage to him until 5-6 items plus. And my concern is simply that Bristleback should have a good lane no matter where he goes now, and his team timing is going to be strong, played around the push potential of the Shaman, and then that jump that you have from the Storm Spirit to stop the Shaker from recovering these early engagements. I think Empire, they have a really nice draft, and Unique, they need to survive, and then eventually might do it. But again, I think Empire, they got a really nice kind of lineup.
All right, Brian, any final words, anything to add to that? I know you're liking Team Empire a little bit more at the moment. Anything in particular that you want Team Unique to do good if they have a shot here?
Just to cover my bases so I don't have to backtrack later. They have to pick on the Storm Spirit. Earthshaker good, Quap beats Storm. That's where their draft has the most advantage, and if they can do that, then those timings I'm talking about may be too slow, and the Wraith King will have all the time he needs, and then they have Black Hole, so that's their way to win this game, I think.
All right, thank you very much. Cap, you agree?
So what, they're both going for Empire? Listen, I don't disagree with their analysis whatsoever of Unique and that Wraith King pickup. I think the hero is countered by Bristleback pretty heavily, so I don't think it was the best last choice. But ultimately,
Shaker
Wraith King
is
good.
Wraith King good. Ooh, anything.
Wraith King good.
Wraith King good.
Wraith King
Shaker
good.
Good.
Can't disagree with that, can you?
See, and you don't get a lot of time, but you gotta, if you want to.
Wraith King is good, but is it good right here? No. Bristleback, good.
All right, that is great. It's getting late here, you can tell. It's actually not that late even at all. This is just their natural state.
That's not the real time. They're lying.
They're not lying. I look forward to seeing this third.
Let us know this too.
I'm looking forward to the third game. Is Wraith King good or is Bristleback good? We're gonna find out together with Moxie and Purge.
I'm over here.
Well, it may not be late, but I can see how Shiver feels that way listening to her panel. And Purge, I think you're out of a job. I think the boys are they analyze the draft. Bristleback, good. Wraith King, good. What are you gonna give us here? How are you gonna win your job back here?
It depends how the lanes match up. Obviously, they're playing Enigma 3, which classically has more success, which is generally going to mean that the deficiencies that you saw last game from Enigma might not happen in this match. So that gives me more trust in it because you can deny farm and therefore make somebody less good than you would expect. Getting first blood is another really good way to have a better game as well. So there you go. First blood. Oh, is that a good carry hero with a first blood? It is. Looks good.
There we go. There's your caveman analysis from Purge. He's jumping on the hype train here.
First blood, good.
There we go. Yeah.
Make strong, big. That's it.
Now you just sound like Mogamak.
That's true.
Do get that fissure block though in the bottom lane, making sure that they have a nice setup here for the creep equilibrium. And so off to a nice start for the side of Unique.
So we'll see how the lane matchups go. Quap mid against the Storm like we expected. Storm going to do the typical push out the range creep, get 2 last hits with the Remnant stuff while trying to stabilize his regen. Wraith King, Crystal Maiden are going to be laning against the Bloodseeker and the Shadow Shaman. Bloodseeker, very good lane sustain typically, which makes that a bit hard. More tingles from the Storm too.
Basic stuff going on in the mid lane, just spamming out the dagger, trying to chip away at his health. Nothing too exciting just yet. Everyone seems pretty content to just sit back, hit creeps, maybe get a courier snipe here or there, but not this time, not just yet.
Both of the supports in the bot lane with 2 boots should make things fine. A little harassed on the Bloodseeker though.
He's
just
fine.
now getting 2. He'll get the lifesteal now, or at least the heal back, I guess, something like that.
Yeah. It's like how Lifestealer isn't really Lifestealer. He's more like Life Gainer now.
Yeah, just kind of like that, huh? Yep.
Yeah.
It's actually like technically he could like slap somebody really. If he had 0 damage, he could just constantly gain health from somebody, even if they were old and decrepit.
Yeah, Life Gainer.
Yeah, he doesn't have to be a bad guy.
Life Gainer. Yeah. He's it's a symbiotic relationship at that point.
Exactly.
Like one of those tiny little fish that like clean the shark's teeth or something, I guess, except he's not really cleaning teeth, so Slayer taking a little bit of damage here, just trading back and forth with the Shadow Shaman. He does have a lot more base damage, though, as he lets the two cores duke it out over in the lane.
Almost surely going to have to spend a lot more on regen than Shadow Shaman. Shadow Shaman did not go boots first, by the way, opting for this need to have stats and trade hits because he knows that if he just gets gone on, he might be a little too vulnerable against the Wraith King and the CM. They do have a lot of kill potential here against him.
Fissure over into the mid lane. Glenblythe not looking too healthy here. He is going to go down.
Bloodseeker died too. Caught that one fully. Basically, he just came into the creep wave and they used all their skills on him and he died.
Wow.
Wraith King good. 2 kills now for him. And this is a big deal because you're supposed to be able to stabilize your lane when you're a hero like Bloodseeker, but you know, his raw HP is okay, but between Nova, Frostbite, and Wraith King disables and right clicks, it's a lot of damage.
Is indeed. That is something that they are kind of lacking a little bit on the side of Empire, is lockdown. Very dependent on the Shadow Shaman, of course, who is getting jumped on here. Slow being thrown down. That Blood Right's cute. They do have the Fairy Fire, but it's not really going to be enough, is it? No, it's actually going to allow for the Shaman to walk away as he took a point in the Hex.
Yep, he had a 9-stick charge too, so he was completely fine. Cost Slayer a lot. That was 2 mangoes, I believe, to go for that kill, but it does zone them out of lane. He gets a stacked small camp pull. Ooh, okay, good. He did draw the rest of the creeps over, so big creep denial here, which will give them a little bit more laning advantage. Wraith King's also got his boots ready to go, so he's got boots advantage over Bloodseeker. He's halfway to his phase boots, so this is going to make his lane a lot more stable on top of that. He's going to sit mid real early for the runes here, but it helps out.
Well, I feel like it's so important on heroes like, you know, Storm and Queen of Pain to make sure that you secure them those action runes. But yeah, it looks like they're going to try to make some moves over here onto the Death Prophet. Push her back just a little bit. Pikachu already making his way back top. It is bottom, though. The illusion rune gets picked up by Bignum, so no bottle refill for you, Storm Spirit.
Yep, pretty good for Unique there, considering that they have the better harass hero with the Queen of Pain. Doing his best to harass Slayer, but Slayer playing a great Crystal Maiden. He does not give first blood, he collects it. Death Prophet's still level 1. That's one place on the map that Empire is looking a little bit rough, but the reason he's done this is because he wants to make sure that Bristol gets off to a good start in terms of levels. Bristol's levels are probably more important. He can try to catch up later when some mid shifts out of their lane. Maybe Storm Spirit goes jungles, and then Death Prophet goes mid to try to catch up. Get that crucial level 6. So as long as Smiling Knight's levels can be okay, he can lane pretty consistently here, but Enigma's doing better, straight up.
Is he still fighting those illusions?
Got to do something with this time.
Yeah, that was a lot of time spent on that. But 5-minute runes are coming up, so you can see that people are making this rotation. They'll see the stack that's coming out here too, but Say's been hard at work trying to make, but they'll block it up. Couple pings over on that tower.
Stacks are for Bristle, probably, but with only a 2-stack large game, might not be that good.
This is looking like a dead Say. Here they go. They drop the Blood Right. Not going to be able to get the final hit off, though, as the Fissure comes out from Bignum. He's trying.
Off the mark. Very close to getting that kill there. I think they stacked their disables a little bit there between the Frostbite and the stun, but maybe he needed to throw it early to
I think it was because of the Hex, yeah?
Yeah, probably needed to protect himself. He's got phase now, too. So, and level 5 picked up more damage here. Certainly a much better chance of that kill succeeding again. And because there's no Tranquil Boots on Shaman as well, like that still is really good for Unique. He's not going to be able to just reset with full HP again. So next time he shows again, he's going to get harassed, probably die.
Akinart and Bignum waving hello to each other as they meet for their regular rendezvous at the bottom rune spot. Bignum's trying to protect this. Pikachu bottling up the double damage. He'll turn back around. They should be able to get an easy kill over here onto Akinart.
That's some damage, all right. It's one of those moments where you remember that Death Prophet support has some weaknesses, and it's heroes with DD. Who knew? DD good.
To be fair, you know, it's not just Death Prophet support. It's also any support, generally speaking, like Crystal Maiden, for example. That probably would have been a lot faster of a death if she had gotten caught by it.
Her projectile almost denied it. It was really close. I thought that for sure she got it. But Queen of Pain, yeah, they're moving over actually to contest the stacks now. This is basically what Shaman has been spending time on here. They're not going to clear it real fast, but the DD is certainly going to help. Only 2 points in Scream of Pain. And Earthshaker's just going to sit back and be ready to deal with things if it gets hairy. So nice little moment to rotate over. Bloodseeker would have farmed this. Maybe Wraith King would have farmed, or Bristleback would have farmed this potentially. And on the other side of the map, Enigma's just solo laning once again. He's got Necro 1 up, so some potential mana drain against Bristol. He's got Soul Ring, so not the end of the world, but just stabilizing his lane all by himself.
Okay, the zip in, though, coming out from Gwynblythe. So, Ghost Stick, his Force Back does have enough mana if he wants to try to go for the Black Hole, and he turns back around again. He knows that the silence isn't there. He'll hold them in place for as long as he can as Pikachu jumps in with the Sonic Wave, gets 2 of them. Thanks to that beautiful Black Hole, the Fissure comes out. Smiling Knight is dead. Beautiful.
I thought he was going to go for the Midnight Pulse. I was ready to criticize him, but with that Quap rotation, Sonic Wave was perfect there, just making heroes disappear. Very smart to use Storm as the guy to jump on Enigma, though. I really like that move because that's the issue with Enigma. He's got so many summons, he's got Necros. It's hard to get past them to initiate on him. But with Ball Lightning, he jumps in right away. He tried to Ball Lightning dodge the initial reaction from Enigma where he would go for the Black Hole, but he didn't commit to it until that last moment here. And just in time, the Sonic Wave catches everybody. And Earthshaker there as well. Gives them the overall triple kill. Great rotation.
Beautiful. Especially the way that Ghost Stick waited. He knew that the silence was down. There was nothing to interrupt that Black Hole at that point if he got the 2 of them. So nice.
Yep,
Smiling
needed
Knight.
to buy time for somebody else to get there.
Yeah, and he did indeed. This is feeling real bad here, but Slayer just walks away as there's plenty of follow-up, plenty of lockdown. Smiling Knight, he's having a lot of difficulties because they're just slapping him. It's almost like he's not even a Bristleback there.
Yep, rotated a lot of heroes, but much like Axe in the first game, this is how you beat these like ultra tanky heroes. You show up with enough heroes to kill them, similar to Timbersaw. All these like really tanky offlane type heroes. If you just commit enough heroes and you kill them once or twice like this, it slows you down so much. And the other crucial thing, Bristol's only level 6 still, and that's because he was laning against Enigma. It's got less levels and therefore has less quill damage, less survivability. Even though he had a Vanguard, it was enough to kill him. And now they're pressuring a tower out of this. A great rotation move.
Very efficient. I like to see it. Got the boys poking at the tower. You got the Eidolons poking at the tower. And then you have the 2 heroes too. Bloodseeker makes his way bottom. I don't think they're too concerned about this, though, as they throw out a Wraithfire Blast over onto Eknart. Need maybe a little bit more lockdown. They might be able to find Patushara here. Yeah, they see him. They actually just take down all the trees using that Midnight Pulse, and he does take a couple of these little snaps. Elentimos running after him. They silence him up so that way he's not able to throw the Wraithfire Blast right off the bat, but they'll respect it. They'll back off a little bit. They know that there's no point in diving past that tier 2 right now.
Yep, just pressuring a little bit. This is a good way to spend their time. Chipped Vest on Wraith King here is excellent as well, and going to increase his farm speed, make him feel more capable of being aggressive towards the enemy team. Obviously, getting first blood earlier in the game helped too. Oh,
no, it's fine. It's fine.
He's fine.
He's got a Bloodseeker there to back him up, but definitely was a moment of worry for sure. We have not seen Pikachu other than that one rotation. Honestly, we haven't seen either of the mids make any rotations other than that once. And, another double damage rune here for Pikachu. Oh, say you. No, they'll back off.
They're a little scared, I guess. I mean, they had vision of him, but they knew Storm was coming over. And yeah, Pikachu could jump in and with Earthshaker maybe kill the Shaman. But if they don't burst him in that initiation, Shackle comes out, Storm follows up, and Quap definitely dies. Right. So they had to be a little careful there. On the bright side, still 4-0-2 Pikachu, like he's still very happy. He needs 400 gold till his Orchid's finished, and their map is so much more open than it was before, especially because between Wraith King and Enigma, they can easily pressure in side lanes, and that's going to give more opportunities for Queen of Pain to jump in and find good goes.
Smoke up coming out from the side of Empire. Hoping maybe they can get the jump over here on this Earthshaker. Just kind of hugging over on the tower. Smiling Knight will back off a little bit for now. They're hoping maybe someone else will show. Maybe he'll come up the ramp here, but there's Cardi. Gwynblythe.
They had Hex.
Position, just zips on in, drags back, followed up with the wards. And the Hex, they should be able to find this come big. No, not quite as they go, and they finally go and save. Pikachu is just running at them here. Smiling Knight. He's been left behind here, as you can see the rotation coming out now from Slayer. Goes, throws out the slow, has the Frostbite, and is very tanky, but not against all this magic nuke damage coming out of Slayer. Gets the kill.
Slayer's owning on CM. It's like consistently playing so well, but great positioning by Bignum as well. Sits really far back there. They had a little bit of contribution or like a hard committal there to Earthshaker. They had to overextend it. Ideally, it would start with a Hex first, then Storm would go in, but Storm's instead forced to pull instantly. And I think the Shaman was a little bit hesitant to use Shackles there. Maybe it's too far. Maybe he ward blocked himself, but as a result, the follow-up was just way too much damage. Quap once again rotating perfectly to save her allies. And this basically means that she's constantly farming, and every time, like, she lets the kills come to her, basically. It's perfect circumstances for these mid-type heroes when it can be like that. Save your allies and get a kill while farming in the meantime.
All right, attempt number 2 here, but where is your TP just cancellation? You don't have it on a Bristleback. Not now, anyways.
Yeah. He's just here to push waves, and I mean, he does force him out of the lane, but that's the best thing. It's delaying the Blink Dagger by a little bit, but this is still going to be an amazing timing. 400 gold away for Earthshaker, so he'll be there very shortly.
But imagine how differently that whole fight top goes if Pikachu wasn't in that position. Like, they had the wards right at the wave at the same time. They could have gotten a kill. They could have put more tower damage down.
Yeah, might have been able to kill the tower pretty hard with tier 2s usually, but towers don't split damage with Glyph on Plague Ward or the Serpent Wards, so yeah, could have done really good.
Yeah.
Maybe they go under tower though. They're rotating over with all their summons.
They've got Necro 3 as well. Got the Shard throwing down the blood right. Look at this movement coming out. They're hunting. They're hoping that somebody comes forward. Say, you just show himself. Gwynblythe is nearby as well. But they do have the black hole up again.
You got to be really careful. Quap has like very few threats here. I feel like it's just like Shaman disables. I guess Silence is a little scary from Death Prophet. And then obviously Bullet Seeker Silence. But it just feels like if they make any overextends on the Empire side, the Unique's going to punish really hard. Blink Dagger's finished on Earthshaker. Just 20 gold to go. Unless he dies right now, he's got a Blink Dagger. So, Smiling Knight's getting stuff on the map, but his net worth isn't like massive, so it's going to put him in a weird spot for a while.
Feels
like,
strange.
they're just going to ignore him.
Yeah, I feel like he should be further ahead and really be placing a lot of pressure down. And it feels like it hasn't felt that way. Like, and I think part of it is because of the way that Unique immediately rotates, right? We saw in the bottom lane, he got jumped on and they just CC'd him totally. Double damage does get picked up over here on Bloodseeker, but again, they don't feel comfortable going in on that.
Yeah, you're right that it is the rotations, but also it's the Enigma Eidolon stuff. He denied a lot of experience by denying range creeps. It's that they rotated and killed him twice, and yeah, he's still farming now. They also took his stacks, so this is his first stacks he's getting at 14 minutes in the game. So it's certainly a mix of issues. But Bristle, who's ahead, an incredible hero. But if he's like about the same, it doesn't feel the same impact.
Oh, hello, Bloodseeker. The rest of the team is here, though. The Atos gets thrown out. Nice Fissure. Echo Slam over onto the back lines. Lands onto 3. Petushar is just eliminated. They'll drop the wards. Eckhart taking a lot of damage. Pikachu finding the opening. They'll burst down the Death Prophet here as Smiling Knight. He's very forward, but can't do anything beyond just kind of throwing his body at them. They're happy with that hit and run.
Absolutely. Still have Black Hole available as well, so they don't lose much. Just Echo Slam's worth it in that circumstance. Get those important core kills. Picking up the Death Prophet for Exorcism as well basically means that now Death Prophet, when she respawns, she's got 3 points and a silence, and that's about all she's accomplishing. She's a little tanky, but the pressure continues for Unique. They haven't used Wraith King ultimate. Wraith King hasn't been pressured at all. He's almost got a Deso as well, so their tower push is going to be insane.
They do have a couple of these creeps here, and like, just look at the amount of summons that just push Tower Slayer. Just running after the Bristleback. Big Numb's here. Tom comes out. They've got the Frostbite. Go throw out the stun as well. The zip onto the back line. So it's Orchid versus Orchid. The Queen of Pain is just doing too much damage. The Frostbite comes out. Down goes Gwynblythe. As the tips also come out too. Here, Ghost Stick getting into position. They're trying to grab him. They'll use the Black Hole. It does get canceled out, but they'll get the kill on Smiling Knight. And at the end of the day, that is what they were looking for here. Sayu running for his life. Aknart also trying to just buy them some more space. Some more times is not looking good here for the Shaman. The Rupture gets used over onto Pikachu. He's just going to stand outside the Blood Rite with the rest of his team protecting him. Look at Slayer, though. Look at this guy. This CM has no fear.
He knows his limits. He's doing a great job on that. Constantly checking for vision. Eknart's going to spot out the Wraith King. Wraith King now realizing, like, oh, wait, I don't have to be scared.
Yeah, no, he does not. The rest of the team is here. The zip forward, though, over here onto this Earthshaker. So he does go down. That's a nice pick-off.
Yes.
But again, it's a support.
And the previous fight was Storm jumping in and getting Orchid and killed back. So This is his first successful Orchid kill. It's helpful, but the net worth disadvantage is getting a little extreme here. Palantimos is going to try to defend this, though. No big ultimates other than his own.
He's fine. He's got no cares. All right, they drop the wards. They don't seem too concerned about it. Ghostic does have to be a little bit careful, though. He is vulnerable. Slayer hiding in the tree line, waiting for anybody who tries to go and initiate here. Gwen Blythe finding this vision. Teleports are coming out. I don't think they can stay here anymore. I think they have to run. Now the jump forward here from Pikachu. Sonic Wave. They just absolutely blow up the shaman. They'll turn their attention now over to Gwen Blythe. He's going to try to ball lightning and get out. And it looks like he's going to be able to survive here as Palantimos still just chasing after them. Bloodright gets placed over onto the ground. They'll back off for a moment. They use the Exorcism over on the Death Prophet.
Playing pretty safe. Still defend their tower. The Eidolons did really good work on the Serpent Wards. Very effective there. Don't have the best dive.
Oh
Never
no,
mind.
Eknard. That's a dead Death Prophet. Pikachu's godlike right now.
It's a perfect co-op game so far. Played really well. So many kills, great counter rotations. His initiation in the last fight was solid too. They're basically weighing their net worth advantage. He was able to basically burst on the shaman at the start of the fight with his instant initiation.
This is a little spooky here, but looks like Unique's gonna back off. Palantimos is taking the Ancients over on the side. That's Ishara walking up here. The rest of the team, they're hot on the heels though. Bloodright gets dropped. This Wraith King is not afraid. They're gonna wait patiently for it to just proc down. So they found themselves a Death Prophet on the back lines. The silence, the fissure. There's enough damage to take down Death Prophet yet again. As the rest of Empire, they can't continue to go forward. They haven't even burnt the reincarnation.
Feels like she just can't even get close to anywhere in these fights to help the game. It's like the enigma of game 2. How does she become useful if the enemy cores are so good at jumping on her? The blink from Earthshaker plus the blink from Quap. Like if she just gets fissure blocked, 100% she dies. There's Quap's action all over the map, very heavily into the mid lane, of course. Lots of kills in front of her tower and behind the enemy tower, just making it easy for a team to just solidify these pushes after getting the initial kill.
10, 0, and 5 so far. Who's the feeders on the side of Empire? Looks like, I think, or rather on Unique, it's the Enigma and the Earthshaker, I believe, are the only two who have died so far.
Big feeders.
Big
so
feeders.
bad.
Somebody throw the Overwatch case up, please. I think they're griefing.
Dying bad.
All right. Well, I mean, whenever we see... They changed the stat thing, though. I'm actually very excited. The most deaths are no longer in green anymore. It's more... I think it was yellow. It's a caution. Like, hey, you're getting too far up there.
Hey, careful. If this stays yellow too long, you're going to get kicked.
Yeah, you're going to get a pizza party.
Queen of Pain's almost got BKB. A little low on mana for this next fight. This one downside for Unique. But really,
hello, they have a Crystal Maiden?
She's missing about 900 mana. Good luck. There's only so much CM can do.
I think you're underestimating Slayer's Crystal Maiden, my friend.
Okay.
Just gotta think hard enough about it, but nah. They go and they do manage to find Seiyu in the trees. It's a big old gank. Down he goes. Not much that he can
Shard
do
out
there.
of it. And a tome. Pikachu cleans up Bounty Rune on the other side of the map. DD Rune. Maybe kill Eknard.
Yeah, he's chasing after him. There's a Silent Spirit Siphon's not gonna be enough. In fact, it's a cool guys don't look at explosion sort of deal as Pikachu realizing that Shadow Dagger gotta do more than enough damage as he walks away.
Yeah, nicely done there. Raindrop helping a little bit there, but sometimes you just gotta commit that damage. Get those kills on the map, take them off, and get a little bit more gold advantage for yourself. Growbow's excellent. She's dealing almost entirely magic damage, so extra attack speed, range, amplification, all solid stuff. Wraith King going for a Shadow Blade this game, kind of cool. Don't see this often, but his whole purpose is he wants to eventually turn this into a Silver Edge so that they can just kill Bristleback.
Smiling Knight.
Frank, he's tanky, but like once they take away his back, he's not going to feel nearly the same. So this will give him a nice window to burst him when they eventually get there.
They're considering going back in here. You see the way they turn around? Like, you can see the rest of the team is starting to collapse.
Yeah, they got to be careful, though. If they overcommit and they don't kill him right away and Empire can respond, that's how they start losing the game.
Zip forward. Here over onto the Queen of Pain, but not quite enough damage. Hexed up, being held into place, though. There it is, the Echo Stem over on the back back. Eliza cleans up Seiyu. And they're chasing after Aknar. They need maybe one more hit. The Spirit Siphon keeping him alive a little bit longer, but it's a big crit coming through. As we get the buyback now coming out from Death Prophet. Palantimus has just been allowed to run around however he like. Big silence coming out from Eknar, but what else is going to come out of this? As they do have the Exorcism, they'll turn back around. They'll get the stun up over onto Smiling Light. They're going to be able to take down the Wraith King for the first time, but the Crystal Maiden, she's going to let it go. She's got the Frostbite up. There's so much damage. Smiling Light running for his life right now. He's not going to be able to escape. Eknar just bought back. He can't afford to go down here.
Till they get the BKB on Enigma, things get a little bit tougher here, but excellent initiation by Empire. They put the ward on the cliff. They instantly disable the Queen of Pain. Hex followed up, then a Shackle. She doesn't even get a chance to use Black King Bar. And with no Glimmer Cape or ability to save her, she gets bursted from full to nothing. That was her big streak going away. It's a godlike, and it went to the 5 position.
Ooh, Gwen Blythe needs to be careful. They're never just alone. There's always a couple of them there, and down goes the Storm Spirit. Eknar running here. Pikachu, his eyes are over onto Petashar. He might just settle for a Death Prophet instead. So down goes the Death Prophet, and she did buy back for that.
Bloodseeker's Petashar is doing an excellent job right with the Blood Right. Means no CM multi, no black hole available, but they're just too far ahead. Wraith King just killed.
Ghost, it goes in for the black hole. The rest of the team running over. Look at the damage coming up from these summons alone, though. Smiling Knight, he's in a late. They've already gotten the kills. They take down Seiyu. They've used all of those wards as well.
Oh, they.
Well, Team Unique.
Oh, man. You know, the other day I was sitting here thinking, like, that's a lot easier to do Weatherman until it's like 1,000% in a row, where I feel like teams gave up. A bit of a change in pattern here, but it was looking bad by all means, but you had a chance. I don't know, once BKBs came up.
Sitting on rocks across the pavement, hoping it will cave in and swallow me whole. Wondering why my mind keeps on spinning. This isn't how living to me was told. Why am I like this? Something's always amiss. Can't put my finger on it, but it's there. Wait for it to subside, but my mind won't apply. Waiting for the clear. Is it bad sometimes? I like it when I lose control. There's something in it that's so beautiful.
until we're older. We couldn't care no more, not any longer. Under peach yellow skies, we keep on.
Now I see violet, I can feel silence. In the dark, all that I see when your stars have burnt out and your heart makes no sound. I'll find violet in your eyes. You'll always be my night sky. You'll always be my night sky. You'll always be my night sky. You're the night sky hiding behind dark gray clouds. I can't figure you out now. I see all blue. There is so much cold in you, and the silence is so loud when you go. I just stay dancing with my shadow all day. Watch the tide. I can't find the point where our two paths align. But you're the night sky. I'm trying to see your stars, but I've always feared the dark. Now I see violet. I can feel your silence. You always feel so far when your stars have burnt out and your heart makes no sound. I'll find violet in your eyes. You'll always be my night sky. You'll always be my night sky. You'll always be my night sky. You'll always be my night sky.
I get lost inside my thoughts, and when I start to think, oh, the tunnel close, it starts to end up on the brink. I tried so hard, but all these scars, they cut so deep, I bleed. I fell so fast from heaven, it's like someone clipped my wings. Now I'm falling, and I can't see the ground. Can we stop this gravity? It keeps bringing me down. I can't breathe, and I don't wanna die. Can we stop this gravity? 'Cause I wanna say goodbye. I forgive the pain you gave to me so long ago. Sleepless nights I laid awake just begging to let go. I almost got to suicidal thoughts, but you stepped in. An angel sent from heaven showed me how to live again. Now I'm falling, and I can't see the ground. Can we stop this gravity? It